they got to my bandmate. I don't know why. Just acting sort of strange lately. I wouldn't be surprised. If I was him, I would absolutely take the money. Or the opportunity, or whatever it may be. So, I was in the shower this morning. Oh, look. I was in the shower this morning. And they were spraying the fuck out of shit over there. You could see all the remnants of it still over there. And I was like, gee, I wonder what today's going to be like. It's interesting that it's been a few days. But here you go. Here's one of those dissipating contrails, at least maybe. So it looks like it's spreading out. What do I know? I'm in a really weird spot, man. I see it all over the web. How do you even know what to focus on anymore? And the thing I just can't overlook is the fact that it all just, if I know about you, if I'm hearing about you, how do I know who you are? There's so many fucking distractions going on right now. And it's almost like it's so much, it's again, where do you focus? All of the space bullshit, all of the asteroids are really UFO, like UFO shit is really taking off. Ouch. And to me, it's doesn't get more obvious than that. But what do we even do, man? It seems very overwhelming. Your last name's Ross. Unless you're like not a J, you're a piece of shit. And that's how I look at it. Lots of Rosses are piece of shits. So, morning, Matt. I hope that's not the case. I hope you're not a piece of shit. I'm just saying. It just makes you wonder, like all of us with these last names that show ownership. We clearly belong to the whatever cult it may be. We're just slaves. We're just property. That's why we're all circumcised. To show that we're property. And I'd like to believe that we could actually fix this, but can we? Is the system just too fucking powerful? I always look at it like what? Like my wife is always telling me, like, you gotta stop looking at it. It's just gonna drive you crazy. Just stop looking at it. But how? How do you stop giving a shit? How do you, how do we do this? When we stop fighting culture wars, we can win class wars. It's not even class wars, though. Like, all of those ideas are just manufactured ideas. Once your eyes are open, you cannot unsee what's been seen. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's not, I don't know. I don't know. The idea of class wars isn't necessarily a thing. Like, class, money, status, all that shit, that's just all manufactured. You know, it's a manufactured aspect of things. And I don't think, you know, it's not like the Israelis killing the settlers killing all the not just the Palestinians, the journalists, the aid workers and everybody else. It's not like these are high class individuals. It's not like these are the top of the this is, you know, these are dirty little rats that have been tricked into doing the message or doing the dirty work. Hi to South Africa. Good morning, Franz. Franz. Bet you hate that shit. You hate when people say that. Franz, because everybody says that shit to you, don't they? Because we're stupid like that, right? We're just stupid like that. A TV show once said Hans and Franz, so I'm never going to let it go. Like, that's how stupid we are. That's how stupid I am. I don't even realize it. I just did it. I don't know. You're complicating it. Good luck, buddy. What do you just believe stuff? You don't complicate it? You don't think about the complications, the different options, the different variables? Again, I wish I could be like that. You know, that like truth lobotomy that people give themselves. I don't really get it. Personally, I can't. Like, there's a Instagram page or an Instagram. I'd tuck you up. No, you wouldn't. Called I Am Blakely. She's really good at what she does. I wish I could meet the chick because she's really good at what she does. She's really good at breaking it down and looking at things, and obviously well educated and not your typical female in that regard, right? If live is an official, this person does this every day like this is some sort of bother. Submarines are a real idiot. Duck you. Like, seriously. Can you imagine somebody getting mad at the idea that somebody doesn't believe in submarines? I've never, like, honestly, that's one of the most shocking things that this whole thing has shown me. You know, I never ever in my life would have thought there were so many, like, defensive submarine enthusiasts. You know, they care way more about my personal belief in submarines than the genocide in Gaza, than the pedophilia going on, than the slavery, all of it. They don't care about those things. They're like, I care about you believing in submarines. It's a level of stupidity that's just so disappointing, you know? You just don't want to believe your brothers and sisters are so stupid. But we absolutely are. I guess my grandpa's ship in World War II wasn't struck by German U-boats. Well, yeah. Well, you know, if that's what you were told, it must be true. And because they have boats that can go just under the surface of the water, that means nuclear submarines are fucking real deal. It's not the damn 1800s, dumbass. Slavery is gone. Yeah, well, obviously, you're probably a J. Because you wouldn't say such stupid things if not. Like, it's just such, you know, slavery was just switched. And it's not just, you know, it's not just the Palestinians that are the slaves. All of us are. The idea of the 40-hour work week and the wage, the hourly wage and all this. This is the illusion of slavery. You know, if we pay them just enough to get by so that they can give our brothers and sisters their money to survive, then they don't realize they're slaves. They think they're free. But let them not pay their house or let them not pay their taxes. Like, you can think you own your house all day. You still have to pay taxes every quarter, whatever. Then you also have to, there's that idea that if they just decide that they want to, say, build a road or something like that through where your house is, well, you don't own that shit anymore. Alien ship is coming. Yep, sure it is. Could you be any more condescending? Sure I could. And your Y-O-U-R probably high, says the super smart guy. You can't even get your fucking yours right, and people are supposed to pay attention to what you're saying. And that's why we need communism, says some dumb broad. Everyone is acting kind of strange today. Not here. This is how it is. You get these dumbasses that try to pretend like they're smart and don't even know they're yours. And then when you point it out to them, they go, shut up, shut up. Why are you like this? What led you to being on YouTube? I can't stand the J's, the J slavery, the pedophilia, and the genocide. Because I couldn't find anybody else saying the right things. It's going to cloud up again so the spaceships can fly without us seeing them. Yup. Spaceships and shit. Look at all the different distractions people fall for. Like I say, the UFO thing is a great distraction. And it's really weird because most of the people that will talk about the UFO thing also believe in the Bible. And you just go, well, how do you believe in both? You must not know your Bible very well. Are you scared of the word J? Yes. I'm scared of it. No, I have a bunch of ridiculous clowns that will use every opportunity they can to get the feed in trouble. I literally had somebody comment on one of my videos. I saw the comment yesterday, but it was on an old video. And he was like, if it was me that did it, because I've been reporting you because I don't like what you're saying. Yeah, it's silly. Does he ever talk about why submarines aren't real? Yeah. Parts 1 through 9. Go ahead and watch them if you really want to. If you really do care about submarines, which you don't. But if you really did, you would go watch parts 1 through 9. You know how stupid you are? Let's talk about how stupid you are real quick. 200-pound body, 70% water, can float on the top of the water with that much air. That much air. That much air prevents me from sinking all the way to the bottom, especially like the deeper it goes, the harder it is to get to with that much air. The only way I can get to the bottom of the water, even in shallow water, is to exhale all the air out. Then I can sit on the bottom. But that doesn't last very long. There you go. You take it from there. Thoughts on Hinduism. Fantastic distraction. What's wrong with you? Why you ain't like Jays? Can you imagine being stupid enough to type that sentence out? Again, that's somebody that doesn't know they're yours. But they're the worst. They are the worst cult in the world. What they do to their own people, to their own children, is so far beyond acceptance. But you think it's, if they can do that to their own children, can you imagine what they could do to you or your children? Slavery has been reinvented attached to a small paycheck. Oh my, if this guy is mentally slow, try to be nicer to him. Yeah, that's what I'm mentally slow because I ask questions you're not smart enough to ask or answer. So, what's the point of your rant? To blow on a bunch of hot air so you can think? Let's see, I just gotta see this. 18 years ago, 10 subscribers. Yeah, you're a real good person. Obviously, you're a real profile. You're a real person behind there. 90s, 80s, 2000s, but Trump white population. That's smart. So some weirdo with a Trump picture is bringing up baby oil. Been joined for 8 years and has no subscriber. Gee, I wonder who that is. Bro, be normal. Exactly, I should be normal. You're right. I'm real, just like submarines. Yeah, sure you are. If there's so many distractions, then what should I focus on? The head of the monster. Always focus on the head of the monster. The thing is, every one of these conspiracies, whether it's the Earth shape, whether it's the chemtrails, whether it's the genocide, whether any of it, the vaccines, anything you can think of, it's like there's like a two-pronged approach, right? Belch. If you find yourself spending all this energy trying to get somebody to acknowledge that the thing is real. I literally had somebody come at me on my Facebook band page talking about, well, two things. One thing, she was like, hey, the Earth-shaped thing, I used to think you were crazy, but now I think you're right. Holy shit, I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah. That was one part. The other part she said was, how come I can only find the videos of yours that I've saved? How come I can't find any of your songs? And, I know that answer. The answer is obvious. But it's it's just, that's what's happening. The censorship is happening. But it's not always like, it. But having other people see it is always interesting. It's always, it's like, yeah, that's what I've been saying this whole time. But the head of the monster, if I get you to say, oh, you know what? I think the earth might not be round, blah, 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 blah. Immediately, it's a reset. You have to reset again. Once I get you to acknowledge that something might be different than what you think it is, the immediate question becomes, well, who is the reason? Who is behind why I thought it was this way? Who is in control of this? Who controls what we think and what's given to us, and it always it's just a reset. It's just another argument that has to start back up again. So instead of having to do this on all these different individual things, all these individual tentacles of the monster, why don't we focus on the head of the monster and work down? That would make more sense. If we can cut off the head of the monster, the tentacles die. We can fix all of it. We just have to cut off the head. As long as we're not cutting off the head, it's going to continue to grow more tentacles. You know, it's going to do what it has to do to survive and maintain its position. This is the reason, yeah, this is what it is. I know, man. Jews are not a cult. It's an ethnicity and a religion. It's a cult. It's definitely not a race. We're definitely not talking about a race of people. You can't convert to a race. When you have the government passing laws that say the Israeli flag is a representation of the Jewish race, you should be paying attention. I mean, you know, kind of borrowing from Dave Chappelle here, but if I started squinting my eyes all the time and talking in a stereotypical, oh, I talk a like this now, that horrible stereotype, if I start doing that and I go, okay, now you have to call me a Chinese, does that mean I'm Chinese? Did I convert to Chinese? You can't convert your race. You can't convert to a race. You can't convert from a race. You are what you are. And Judaism is not a race. It's an idea. Black people have been converted to Jews. Sammy Davis Jr., Nell Carter, these are famous people who have been converted to Judaism, and they're black. So it's not a race. It's not like you go, oh, well, those aren't black people anymore. Those are Jews. No. Nobody in their right mind would say something so stupid. And yet you fall for it. And the whole idea of the money, follow the money, follow the money. They print the money. They don't care about the money. They print the money. The money isn't there for them. People always say they're always just trying to make more money, make more. I mean, when you have $10 million, what would you need more money for? That's generational wealth. Your family will be wealthy forever. You know, all you got to do is put it in the bank, and the interest alone will keep your family wealthy forever. So it's not about just making more money. Money isn't about them having it. It's about us not having it. Money is the proverbial carrot on the string, and we will never get enough. We will never be allowed access to it. We are given enough money to survive paycheck to paycheck, maybe go on a vacation once a year, you know, pay for Christmas and things like that. But everybody is just a few bad decisions or a few unlucky decisions or unlucky circumstances away from being those homeless people that you step right over, that aren't being talked about, that are just lining the streets. It's horrendous. The Jays are the head of the monster. They absolutely are. You're not being censored. You're not. It's just getting moved to schizophrenia tube. Boy, that makes sense. Here we have our talking point. If you're not paying attention, like seriously, just pointing out how stupid they are. How do they all make the same mistake? Like, this is not schizophrenia. This schizophrenia is, you know, multiple personalities and shit like that going on in your head. You don't see me talking to multiple personalities. You definitely don't see me believing in some sky daddy that I talk to and that can manipulate things with his dinkle dinkle dink magic. Oh, there's another one right there. You miss him? Well, shit. Here, let's joined 5 days ago with no subscribers. Go find him. There you go. Your major malfunction is that you believe you are always right. Right. So I should just argue things that I don't think I'm right about. And then when nobody actually even, says anything slightly intelligent, I should just go, you know what, I changed my mind. This thing that I have all this evidence to prove, this thing that you'd have to be an idiot not to see, well, I just don't see it anymore because it makes you uncomfortable. He can't be saved. Guys, just leave the stream. He needs only holy water, but that doesn't even work. Okay, so again, why would somebody encourage other people to leave? If this isn't somebody doing their job, what is the point here? This guy's the Facebook police, the moral police. He can't even spell, and he's talking about telling you what to do. Don't listen, not engage with this guy and tell him what he's wrong about, because they know you can't. Instead, it's you should leave. Don't even engage with this guy. Just turn around, run. He's scary. Crack, yep. The Israelites are technically considered favored by God. Exactly. All of you dumb Christians out there, you're not even the number one big shit in your own religion, your own fucking cult. You don't even think you're the best. You accept the idea that you're not God's chosen people. This other religion entirely, this one that killed your Jesus, killed your superhero, killed your Christian God's only son, those are your Christian God's favorite people. That makes sense, doesn't it? It's a race and a religion. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Is that the same as those from Judea don't have to practice Judaism? Not sure what that means. There is no Judea. Money is God, that's what they say. Well, money controls a lot. Race is a concept created by man, so if a society chose to race, it could be interchangeable. That makes sense. Ashkenazi Jews are the only ethnic religion. What? A piece of paper is God. Isn't that sick? Broke bozo. Oh, yes, I am broke. What's your number? Here, let me give you my phone number so you can call me. Bro, rambles for 7 minutes. Read chat. So, do you realize, you can't talk and read the chat at the same time? Do you guys understand? This is, I know you're not very smart, but I can't talk and read at the same time. And if you want me to answer your crybaby comments, well, I have to read them. He spends his money on cigarettes. Could just leave, guys. He can't be saved. He spends his money on cigarettes. Could just leave, guys. He can't be saved. You believe in chemtrails, though? I can see them. It's happening every day. God is money. The sky daddy most worship is the sky daddy. It's all worship. Yeah, of course. Look at this shit. Look at this dumb shit. All religion worships man-made religion that is based around money. It's based around control. It's not based around money. Money is the object that's used on us. But, I mean, I get what you're saying. We do, but it's not real. Bro, what's your solution to all these problems, bro? Bro. First solution is we stop saying bro all the time because we sound really stupid when we do that. Second most important solution is the Goyim unify and overthrow J leadership. Overthrow the J's that give us the narrative. I strongly believe the government has a clone army. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? Right? I mean, think about it. Right? Why would they give us this platform to be able to unify? Right? This is a platform where all of us can sit here and express ourselves, express our ideas, share, sub. You know how that works. But we can communicate with people all over the world. Prior to this thing that they've given us for free, you barely knew anybody outside the, 5 miles that you live in. You spend most of your time within 5, 10, 15 miles. You didn't know anybody in Germany. You didn't know anybody in fucking Japan or Australia or anything like that. Unless you happened to meet them here one day and then you guys corresponded from there. But even then, that correspondence was expensive. Before they gave us, digital, and they gave us the ability to communicate like this, I mean, there's this huge shift between cell phones and regular phones, where prior to cell phones, they used to just rape the shit out of us with long distance charges and international charges and just all this crazy shit, and people have just completely forgotten about it. God is buns. Nice. I wish I would have made that the title. Don't fall for the idea of people saying, they're glazing. It's just, whenever somebody attacks you, or like it's called ad hominem. So let's just tell you. There is no Jesus. Come on, that's stupid. You have to be smarter than that. What the fuck? Why is this popping up? Come on, let's do this. There we go. All right, so ad hominem, short for argumentum ad hominem, refers to several types of argument where the commenter attacks the character, motive, or some other attribute of the person making an argument rather than the substance of the argument itself. This avoids genuine debate by creating a diversion, often using a totally irrelevant but highly charged attribute of the opponent's character or background. The most common form of this fallacy is person A, moi, makes a claim of fact, to which person B, these dumb fucking bot commenters, assert that person A, me, has a personal trait, quality, or physical attribute that is repugnant, thereby going off topic, and hence person B, you, concludes that person A, me, has their fact wrong without ever addressing the point of the debate. And that's literally all you see here over and over again. Crybabies begging for my attention because they want to talk about me. And I'm like, no, let's talk about the bigger picture. Who cares about me? Look at all the right angles and squares and straight lines in the clouds. Nah, don't do that. Don't worry about any of that. That is just totally normal, natural. Clouds just make straight lines. It's just what it is. Gotcha. Are you saying it's okay to be a pedophile? Yeah, sure. Be a pedophile. Just out yourself. Let everybody know that you exist so we can kill you. But that's like somebody's hopeful. Somebody's like, yeah, that's. Is this what you're saying? Because that's what they want. Oh my gosh. Half of this freaking video was an ad hominem. Look at, this is 3 years. Oh, this is only 3 years with 16 subscribers. So, hey, maybe that's real. Religion truly means to visit and minister to those who are in need of the world, the widowed and the orphans. The widowed are in need because they don't have a man in their life. Jesus was a real person that seeks knowledge. That's what life is about. Why would you believe that? Do you think we have any account of what was happening 2,000 years ago? And the thing is, most of you just aren't smart enough to have this conversation. You don't know. If I start talking about submarines, you guys don't know about submarines. You've never done any sort of deep dive into submarines, pun intended. You know nothing about this shit, but you just want to talk like you do. I have met a man so conservative, he hated Jesus because he was a Jew. What? How can you hate something that doesn't exist? It's not about an emotion. Life is about learning. Emotion is a huge part of life. All we see is the guy walking in circles, smoking weed, and playing and saying submarines aren't real, right? Because I've been saying that the whole time. So what is the argument you are making, which the ad hominem are attempting to distract from? That submarines aren't real? Yes, because I keep making that argument, right? There's not a single thing you described in your view of the clouds. Okay. Put them in the wood chipper. How would you define religion? Cult. It's a cult. People believing in a bunch of nonsense for no reason whatsoever. They just do. It's for their own personal ignorant benefit. They don't want to die and just be dead. So they're going to take this risk that they could go to hell, which is the much more likely scenario. Because, none of you follow your biblical thing. It proves that none of you actually believe in the shit. All of you that claim to be religious one way or another, you're not. It's just the comfortable thing to say. It's just the convenient thing to say. It's just the, it's the common thing to say so you don't get, you don't get ostracized and all this shit. But you don't know the shit. One, you have no idea why you're a Christian over a Muslim. There are way more Muslims in the world than there are Christians. But they're all wrong and you're right because... Same thing with Muslims. Why are you right and Christians aren't? Most Muslims will refer to the idea that the Quran, every copy of the Quran that's ever been found is the exact same. No matter how old it is, apparently every copy that's found says the exact same thing all the way through. It's not changed even a little bit. Whereas Christianity, according to the narrative, has been edited so many times that you guys are worshiping the King James Bible and you don't even bother to think about who King James is. I'm a leave. Bye. It's a good thing you should, because you're not very smart and you're not contributing. Of course, I don't think you're telling the truth yet again. Religion is a scam. What do you think happens after we die? I don't care. I'll get there when I get there. We all will. I'm not worried about what happens when I die. I'm worried about what's happening while I'm alive. And the fact that they've tricked so many of you into worrying about this thing that happens when you die. I mean, again, I just don't understand how you can not see that. And there's the narcissism. Yes, I'm a narcissist. The Gato class are amazingly designed worship. Sure they are. So now you're going to conflate a woman who dumped a man for a widowed woman. Yeah. Yeah, because a widowed woman, once the man is out of her life, she's just fucked, right? Like, what kind of stupid, I know what it is. So, when people can't actually argue against me or what I'm saying, they make up an argument that they can say. So, if I would have said something about breaking up and all that, then you would have an argument to say. So, you make it sound like that's my argument. But that wasn't said. Mary got pregnant at the age of 15 because she worked in a brothel. That's a fact. There is no facts about religion. There's nothing. None of it's fact. It's all bullshit. Jesus does it. Oh, he still exists. Huh? Why do we need to learn about submarines? Tell me why. I will listen. I don't know. I think you guys are silly that don't understand what titles are. There's a really great channel out there talking about old world stuff, like totally exposing. He just put out this video titled Population Zero, which is amazing. I mean, and it shows you that by like the 600s, according to the narrative we're given about population declining 66% every 69 years, It means that by the time you get to zero, or by the time you get to like the 600s, there's no people on Earth, according to the narrative we're given. You look at the population numbers. He broke it all down. But his channel's called My Lunch Break. And I wonder how many of these dumbasses on here go to his page and they're like, what the fuck? Where's all the peanut butter and jellies? What, isn't there like a red and white checkered blanket you should be sitting on? A picnic, having a lunch? I thought this was your lunch break. Why aren't you eating lunch? You know it's dinner time, right? It's dinner time and you're eating lunch. You're stupid. The funny thing is, it doesn't happen. For some reason, the guy that pseudo pushes Christianity doesn't get this kind of interference. I wonder why. Are planes real? Yeah, there's nothing coming out of that plane. If you think airplanes correlate to submarines, again, you're just as dumb as it gets. You're letting yourself be stupid. As soon as you get rid of the idea of silly ass gravity, then airplanes make all the sense. Sure, they can fly. I mean, you can go into the airplane fuel thing, which is just such nonsense. Obviously, it's nonsense. You can't. If you look up a 68,000 gallon tank, water tank, whatever, you look at the size of that, and then you go, oh, so all of that fits into the wings of a plane? Sure. Appeal to intelligent fallacy. Just now, by the way, Mr. Logic. What the fuck does that even mean? Why doesn't God exist? The more important question is, why does God exist? How do I prove something isn't real? Okay, you guys ready? There's a leprechaun in my hand right now. You guys see it? I have faith that the leprechaun is there right now, and he's hiddly diddly diddly diddly. He's doing a little jig in my hands. Don't you guys see the leprechaun? He grants your wishes as long as you don't go after his lucky charms. You see that? You guys see it? Do you guys have faith in the leprechaun? Well, prove that there's no leprechaun there. Prove it. Prove that I don't believe there's a leprechaun there. You know how stupid you are when you say shit like that? Prove God doesn't exist. God is stupid. God is a chomo. God is a psychopath. God doesn't exist. God is the most horrible piece of shit to ever exist. Huh? Anything gonna strike me down? Anything gonna smote me? No. If you really want to talk about submarines, which you don't, but if you really did, go watch parts 1 through 9. The vast majority of the videos you watch aren't live videos. The vast majority of the videos you watch on YouTube are fucking old videos. So go watch my parts 1 through 9, hear all the arguments, either debunk them on the video or write them all down so you can come here tomorrow and be like, no, you were wrong about this and you were wrong about that. And that what faith is, brother, the lack of evidence and everyone telling you you're wrong and still believe. Yeah, yeah. Faith is the absence of logic, evidence, intelligence. Faith is slavery. The master tells you what to believe, and even though your life, your reality goes against that narrative, you still believe it anyway. Of course. At the end of the day, we are all going to die and we know it. So what's your idea on what happens after we die? Isn't it crazy how this person is so obsessed with that? Like this is a prime example of how broken we are. This dude's already asked me this and I've already answered it a bunch of times. It doesn't matter to me what happens when I die. I'm so much more concerned about life than I am death. And yet this person just can't wrap their head around it because of their own selfishness. I need to know that I get to live forever. Jesus loves you, but not the Palestinian Christians that are getting bombs dropped on the tent that they're forced to live in because their house was already destroyed and everything else was destroyed by God's chosen people, the Israelis. Yeah, God doesn't look out. God doesn't love those kids, huh? God doesn't love all those kids that are being raped by clergy literally as we speak. Because it happens so frequently, it's safe to assume it's happening right fucking now. God, Jesus can take all of its love for me and shove it right up its own ass. Don't waste any of that shit on me. If you believe in prayers, you believe prayers work even a little bit, you arrogantly believe that prayers work just a little tiny bit. The only thing you should be praying for is that the clergy, the church, stops raping children. Everything else is just selfish bullshit. So you're rightfully missed at what's known as organized religion in the modern form of it. Sure, whatever. Horan is unchanged, ahum dalallah. Who gives a fuck? You only know that because you're told that, you dumb ass. You know, one part that you're often told that you like to forget is that Islam, Christianity, and Judaism are all considered the Abrahamic religions, and considering Abraham as the father of the Jewish people, what does that tell you? What are your thoughts on a different type of Christians, like evangelical and such? Just arrogance. All religion is arrogance. It's arrogance. It's narcissism. You know, religion is arrogance. And until one of you can tell me why you believe in one, you know, whether it's Christianity or Islam, or you're an evangelical, or you're a Protestant, or you're a Mormon, or if you could tell me why your thing is correct and all of the other ones are wrong, I'd love to hear it. God will protect this world, even to die. What do you worry about? The Jays killing more and more children? I don't worry about my own shit. I do, but not in the big picture thing. And my own personal stuff isn't for a live feed. A live feed is for the big picture. So, what does that even matter? You also objectively reduce the beliefs of others based on what they're saying in a chat. Yeah, I reduce your beliefs down to what you're saying, exactly. The last thing you're being is good, rational, and logical example of thought process. What the fuck? That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, we don't know what widowed means. Like, this is how desperate you are to make the point that you're just going to keep going. Right? The problem is not the word. It's that people don't follow it truly. Jesus is about relationship. Says a female. We have a dumb female talking about Jesus and the Bible, right? So tell me, dumb female, what about 1 Timothy 2:12? New Testament shit. This isn't even Old Testament stuff. Why don't you address 1 Timothy 2:12? Tell me about that. Since, you know, you're such a scholar. You're such a religious scholar. Many don't like the concept of something being in existence for an infinite amount of time. They'll do anything to not accept that they one day cease to be. This is why religion sells. Survival instinct. That's a good point. It's arrogance. It's literally arrogance. Let's run the feed, says Juan. All right, Juan, show up and we'll run that feed, okay? Tough guy. Can you imagine being like, you're so smart, you're hurting my think. My think hurts, so now I want to fight with you. Can you imagine? Not only are you left looking stupid, but you also get your ass beat? How bad would you feel about yourself? Population is exploding in the third world, dumbass. Oh, okay. I'm spiritual above anything else. This comes before religion. Yeah, what does spiritual mean to you? Oh, I'm just going to skip over a bunch of this. The enemy of truth is human reason. I don't have to be a scholar. What? The enemy of truth is human reason? Do you know that this person didn't make that up? This person heard somebody else say that, and they were like, yeah, what does that mean? Oh, well, I like the way it sounds. It doesn't even make sense. The truth is the enemy of human reason. So this is one of these dumbass females, again, who comes on here pushing her religious stuff. But as soon as you say, hey, what about what your religion says? She goes, well, I don't have to be a scholar. What do you mean? I don't know what it says. This guy is a Mossad agent, says the diddler. Yeah. The diddler joined 4 years ago, no subscribers. Let's get rid of the diddler, because that's just gross. Go back in your mom's pussy. Obviously, this is a teenager, right? Blood ran the streets in the French Revolution. What about 1 Timothy 2:12, you dumb broad? No, it makes sense because you are good at connecting the dots. You can see that humans are self-destructive. Sure, humans are self-destructive. Some of them, but some of them are really amazing. Some of us are really amazing. The Bible is also very clear that Jesus doesn't choose a race, but goes with everyone. Recorrect your words. What? What? Just the stupidity. What Bible shit are you quoting now that you're not even, it's not accurate? You know, the Bible is a Jewish fairy tale. All of the characters in the Bible, the main characters, are Jewish. All of the stories are Jewish. There is no Christianity. It's just literally bullshit. It's bullshit and it's Jewish fairy tale. They literally talk about the Goyim, the Gentiles, that's us, as a separate group. Those Gentiles, not us Gentiles, those Gentiles. How can you be so stupid? Jesus was a Jew, no doubt about it. Like, what are you even talking about? This guy works for Russia. He is getting intel for the guy. I thought I was a Mossad agent. 10 years ago, a crack commando unit was sent to prison. Uh-oh. Do you think we could find them? Do you think that we could, if we could find, we could hire them? The A-team? Crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade in the Los Angeles underground. He's banning random people so he doesn't look like he's in the wrong. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Those random people. Go read the Bible. I love when people say that shit. Right? They try to insinuate that you don't believe in it because you haven't read it. I know the Bible better than you do. I know more about that bullshit better than you do. And I know about why you read the Bible. The history of the Bible that we're given. You don't know anything. You're just dumb. Why are you acting misogynistic? Yeah. Do you know what Gentile means? Yeah, not us. Or not them. Do you realize Christianity is a religion that evolved from Judaism? Yes, Second Temple Judaism. Christianity comes from Second Temple Judaism. It's the religion, the beliefs that were given to the slaves to distract them from what's really going on. To give them the illusion of power. To give them the illusion that they can actually, you could do something, but it's not about you guys uniting and actually doing it. Just go in your house and pray all your problems away. Pray for the Savior to come fix things for you. I love how people say, this guy's always trying to blame other people for his thing. Yeah, right. I'm blaming other people. That's why I'm waiting for a Savior to come fix it for me. I don't trust anything he says if he rocks a ponytail, because you're super insecure, I guess. So stupid. Just so stupid. I'm not a prophet, not a minister. I'm just a humble follower of Jesus. I just follow the truth. That's not humble at all. That's the opposite of humble. Saying that the thing that you believe is the truth when you can't back it up, you have no reason why. Notice how I put forth a pretty, you know, a pretty substantial, pretty definite sort of argument. Why is your belief in Christianity correct and all of the Muslims are wrong, and vice versa? What makes you think that you're correct? And they won't answer that. They can talk all the shit they want and I believe in the truth, blah blah blah. What about 1 Timothy 2:12? You gonna just keep skipping over that? This dude apparently doesn't think the New Testament exists. I mean, I think the book exists. Is it real? No. Are you one of the commies being paid $8K for spreading BS? Obviously. Obviously, Israel is paying me to talk bad about Israel, because that's what happens. Good morning, homie. You guys are so dumb, you're losing a 10 versus 1. Exactly. Exactly. Isn't that amazing? And I'm wrong, right? I'm the one that's going against the narrative. All these guys have to do is know the narrative that they're given, and they don't even know that shit. Get some help. IDK, why these fucking idiots keep popping up on my timeline. Dude's got a ponytail and a smooth brain, says some dumb J. I love when people say shit like they made it up. Like they're the first ones to say smooth brain. Somebody said that they had a smooth brain once, and they were like, oh, that hurts my feelings. So I'm going to say it to other people. He never said women can't talk about Jesus. Apparently you don't know your Bible, do you? You don't know what 1 Timothy 2:12 says. So let me enlighten you. 1 Timothy 2:12 says, I permit no woman to teach or have authority over a man. She is to keep silent. But you don't like that Bible quote? Is that what it is? Acts 17, teachings about race bias isn't relevant either. Yeah, okay, come on, keep going. Instead of just saying dumb shit, let's see. Can we at least agree we are all God's children? Fuck no. What kind of children makes or what kind of father makes his children ask for food, ask for protection, ask for guidance, ask for anything? As a father, you do more. You're like, hey, I know you're not hungry, but come eat anyway. It's lunchtime. As a father, you're like, hey, that guy is creepy. I don't even know if he's a pedo, but he's creepy, so you're not coming anywhere near my kids. As a father, you go, hey, that organization keeps getting caught raping children and doing nothing about it. You know what? My kids aren't going to be involved in that. So you're, Y-O-U-R, not going to address the banning? Pussy! I love how all these Christians, it only takes a second for them to show their true colors. This is what all Christians are. They're all just fake, phony pieces of shit. I know the Bible better than you two. Appeal to the intellect. Again! I do. Well, the idea is Jesus fulfilled the Old Testament, did he? Do you remember that Christianity evolved from a small sect of Judaism called the Way that believed Jesus was the Messiah? Do you honestly believe all this shit you're told? Again, what makes you think that this version is true? I love how nobody fucking answers this. Now spend the next 10 minutes loudly telling us how Islam is stupid. Like, I love all these people that act like I'm forcing them to be on the feed. Like, they couldn't just go literally do anything else in the world. Instead, they're forced to be here and look really stupid. Gosh, I have some real powers there, huh? Please let us know as soon as your vast intellect finds a way to save you from your sins, man. Like, this is just, it's like their brain isn't capable of thinking beyond this slavery. And it's so weird. It's like, these are adults. These people can tie their shoes. You know, these people can drive somewhere and not get lost, maybe. Like, these people are, you know, again, how many are actual people? How many are bots? Most of them are bots. Most of this is Team Jorge bot kind of bullshit, but still. The vast stupidity is just crazy. The point is, Jesus chose to die on the cross. Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, you don't even know the story. I'm sure you don't even know the story. Talk about Islam, you pussy. Can you imagine what a little bitty little dick white dude this is? He's sitting there in his little house, his mom's house, his whatever, and he talk about the other thing. Don't talk about my thing. These little dicks, man. Little dicks make white guys insane. It's fucking crazy. All religions are tools for controlling. Yes. All given to us by... Who's controlling the world? Like, it's so obvious as to why you're a Christian when you look at what's happening in the world today. There is a literal genocide happening right now. It's being broadcast on TV. They're bragging about it while stealing our money to pay for it. And it mirrors the Bible, right? The Bible is all about you being a Christian slave, shutting the fuck up, just doing what you're told, not having any sort of advantage or favor, and it all going to the Jays. And you're supposed to be, as a Christian, you're supposed to be okay with that and not say anything, not step out of line, you know, not point shit out. And as long as you follow the rules, yeah, your life might suck, but when you die, woo, baby, the party will start. Then you'll have all the same advantages that the Jays had while you were alive. You just got to die first. The whole thing where the Bible shows he could choose not to die does so willingly as a proverbial sacrificial lamb. Sure. Right, because, you know, there was some sort of sin debt collector that just kept calling God, and finally they came knocking on the door and they wouldn't go away, and finally God opens the door and he's like, what? And they're like, God, because his first name's Todd. Todd God, according to our calculations, your earth has way too many sins. Something needs to happen here. Come on, Todd. Something needs to happen. Your sin count is way too high. Your earth's sin count is way too high. And God was like, well, what if I make everyone's life better down there and, you know, free energy, free health, free love, everything's free and everybody just lives a utopia. How about I do that? No, that's not good enough. No, we can't have that. Okay. How about at the very least, how about I just unify the people? How about that? They can fix it all for themselves, but if I just unify the people by eliminating all of the crazy fairy tales one way or another, what about that? No, that's not going to work either. When checking our records, your sin count is way too high. Oh, shit. Okay, how about this? How about I impregnate a virgin version of myself with myself, and then at 32, I'll figure out how to have magic. I'll disappear, and then I'll come back at 32, and I'll have a bunch of magic powers, and I'll try to convince people to believe in me and well, us, because me down there and me up here. And then when they don't, they'll kill me on the cross, and then obviously I'll resurrect and shit. But would that work if I impregnate myself with myself only so that a different version of myself can kill myself on a cross? Would that be enough to pay off the sin counter? And they were like, yeah, that works. That's one of the things just go ahead and do that. And then all of the sins forever will be accounted for. Do. Is that what you believe? Then why are you trying to twist the Bible? Then say, Sky Wizard, get out of here, half wannabe. This person can't even type basic sentences correctly. And I'm supposed to take this person seriously? Just so dumb. He's butthurt. They're all butthurt. Do you believe in aliens? Wow, your wallet's going into the swear jar. Do I believe in aliens? No. Not like you do. Not in the sense that you do. Obviously something is going on, but it's not what you think it is. It's not aliens from all over the universe and shit. But this is all speculation, and I don't care about speculation. I addressed Timothy, and he didn't even see it. They have eyes, but don't see. Let's see. What did she address about Timothy? First Timothy 2:12. Hopping in my submarine, read the Bible, nothing but love. So she claimed she was leaving, but she didn't. Morgan Sayer. Where did she address this? He never said women can't talk about Jesus. No, I did address that thing. Remember when I pointed that out? The thing that you don't know what it says? You're stupid. Y-O-U-R stupid for calling us stupid. Y-O-U-R stupid. Seriously. I couldn't ask a dumbass to be more of a dumbass. If you're gonna call me stupid, at least get it right. We must have a lot of narcissists in here because where is all this self-deprecating behavior come from? Masochists in here. Crazy Jays. It's all it is, man. It's just stupidity. Yes, but by getting offended makes you seem more guilty. Of course. 1.2 million Christians were murdered by 1915 by the Young Turks. Sure they were. Sure. Start talking about 1915. Because you were there. No one is going to mod this. No one needs to mod this. I don't trust any of you anyway. Nobody is a believer. Nobody actually believes in that bullshit. He's picking the lowest hanging fruit. Well, you absolutely are the lowest hanging fruit. Science is a discipline by humans to understand the physical world. No, it's not. Science is just another religion. And if you don't follow the rules, you get blacklisted. Your life gets ruined. Like imagine you spend, you put yourself in all kinds of debt so you can be a theoretical physicist that specializes in black holes. And then after a certain period of time, you figure out it's all bullshit. We live in some sort of dome structure. Something else is clearly going on here. But you have a job as a theoretical physicist where you make six figures. And you've got a big house. And you've got a wife that stays home and she has a car. And your kids all have cars. And they all have insurance on those cars. And the cell phones and all of the other bills that you have, all the special clubs that the kids belong, everything that's wrapped up in that large six-figure paycheck you get. But you find out it's bullshit. And you start poking around, hey, I've kind of noticed some of this is bullshit. And they're like, yeah, remember this guy who suddenly died of 2 shots to he offed himself with 2 shots to the head? Remember that guy? Yeah, he was saying the same things you are. And you go, whoa, wait a minute, what? Just push the narrative as it's supposed to be pushed, man. You get paid really well, just shut up. And so either you have to decide, am I going to, expose this and get blacklisted? Because once you get blacklisted as a theoretical physicist who specializes in black holes, guess what? You're not going and getting a $100,000 job anywhere else. That theoretical physicist who specializes in black holes, that doesn't transfer into anything else. You can't be a sales manager or whatever, a doctor, a lawyer. You can't just jump over and get a new job making $100K. So now your entire livelihood, your family's livelihood, everything's livelihood rests on whether you do something that could possibly get you killed, like you've seen happen with multiple people, or you just shut the fuck up and do your nothing job and get paid really well for it and have the prestige that comes with it. Most of you are just going to do that. Why wouldn't you? I think it's going to be hard to find a mod for this channel because it's kind of a lot of negativity. Don't you think that's weird? Don't you think the guy who consistently says we should kill pedos, stop the genocide, and overthrow the slave masters that keep us all slaves, don't you think it's weird that I would get so much negativity for that? Kind of believable, right? Brother, you need to realize you are speaking on your life. It doesn't apply to anyone else. Yes, you're right. My life. My life is committing genocide right now. My life is raping a bunch of children. My life is keeping everyone slaves and believing in some crazy sky daddy that's going to come fix it all. It's just waiting for us to pray enough. That sky daddy loves us so much that it's just like, man, this prayer jar will just not get filled up. We're just waiting for that one guy to start praying. If he starts praying, then that's going to fill up the jar. We're just a little bit. I'm about to send Jesus back down. Nah, not enough prayers. I mean, just so stupid. Somebody calling themselves Pizza King repeatedly says Trump is your president. Trump, you are president. Trump, you are president. Pizza King. Do you guys still question what's going on here? Do you guys really still think it's just a coincidence that this guy who calls himself Pizza King, who joined 11 years ago and only has 2 subscribers, that Pizza King is a Trump supporter? You really think that's just a weird coincidence? At this point, all Trump supporters to me are pedophiles. If you support Trump, you're a pedophile. Clear as day. If you can overlook Katie Johnson and all of the other shit associated with Trump, Trump says, like, can you imagine if you're talking to one of your friends and for some reason you have a 60-year-old friend and your 60-year-old friend is like, yeah, I could bang 24-year-olds anytime I wanted to. If I wasn't married, I could totally. And you were like, all right, you're a big-headed orange guy, but nonetheless. And you're going, wow, man, well, 24 is pretty young. Do you even have an age limit? And he was like, no. Well, I don't want to get caught messing with a 12-year-old like what's his name. Do you think you'd be like, oh, okay, friend, that's a reasonable response to that question? Or would you be like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of my house, you fucking weirdo. What are you talking about? You may not believe, but he believes in you. Arrogant Christian. Yet another arrogant Christian. Refusing to answer simple questions. This country is cooked. These are the men of America. Sad. Oh, it's sad that somebody that doesn't like pedophilia. Yeah, I'm sure you hate that, don't you? The WEF has all the answers, brother. The future is going to be great. Sure it is. Oh, the Anunnaki are coming next month. Sure they are. You know that whole Anunnaki Nibiru thing? You know who created that? Most of you don't even know that shit. Like anybody that talks about Nibiru and shit, you're showing that you're new to the program. Seems like everybody finds Nibiru relatively new. Nibiru was 2012 shit, and you're talking about it now? But it's because you haven't bothered to ask yourself, well, who the fuck is Dr. Zachariah Sitchin? The Jewish Freemason who made up everything. Never really explained how he got to the conclusions, how he translated the tablets, but he did it. You're stupid. I think you are doing good work for these foods giving you backlash. Have nothing to do with their lives. If you don't like him, find something better to do, dirtbags. No, this is better. I encourage them to do this. You know, every time somebody speaks on here and they don't address what's being said and or they say something like to the contrary or they say something stupid, they're proving my point. Look, if I was wrong about anything, they would focus on it. They would say, you are wrong about this, and this is why. You know, like I do with all of their stuff, with the comments I choose to respond to and the information we're given. You directly address the points being made and debunk them if you can. And yet nobody even really attempts to. Idiots criticizing this man while watching him. Who seems like the fool? Yeah. You can't apply all aspects of your individual existence to everyone else. What? Again, what is this dumb, like, crybaby shit? Anything to avoid the actual questions being put forth. Sounds like a deflection. Yeah, there are no moderators here. You overlooked Biden fondling little girls. He didn't. The whole Creepy Joe thing came from Biden smelling some girl's hair. And, you know, some girl was standing in front of him and take a picture and I'm sure her hair smelled, which is why he smelled it. And it probably reminded him of his daughter, who knows. But he smelled it and he got a smile on his face. That doesn't mean shit. When you compare the whole Trump-Epstein association and then all of the charges and just everything associated with Trump for decades, it destroys, it's so much further than anything Biden or anyone else. You know, Trump had Epstein, dead to rights. It was the Trump administration that didn't take care of this tremendous asset. Let him escape. He's alive. Epstein is 100% alive. The death was fake. It was clearly fake. You could tell just by looking at the pictures of the supposed dead body. Well, your ear is like a fingerprint. And the picture, it shows his ear, and his ear is not the same as Jeffrey Epstein's ear. His nose doesn't quite hook as much as Epstein's does. This isn't a deniable thing. This is a fact. It's factual. I met Soros, and it opened my eyes to the beauty of the world, brother. The government is here to help you. Sure it is. You met Soros. I totally believe you. If you support pedos, you're a pedo. Exactly. So anybody that still supports Trump is a pedo. Just like anybody that comes on here specifically to talk shit to the guy that thinks we should kill pedos, yeah, it's because you're a pedo. Anti-Semitism much? Yes, proud of my anti-Semitism. Because I know what Semitism means. Do you guys want to know what Semitism means? Here, let me show you what Semitism means. I'm not even gonna, well, let's do it the right way. So, there's no crybaby, okay? Semitism definition. We'll pull up the Webster's dictionary, the most accepted form of defining words.
Semitism.
We are on the Semitism page.
Semitism.
Number 1A, Semitic character or qualities. Number 1B, a characteristic feature of a Semitic language occurring in another language. Number 2, policy or predisposition favorable to Jays. Policy or predisposition. Sorry, I'm trying to desperately save this feed because I'm going to lose it due to the power situation. Still probably not gonna work, but whatever, we'll give it a shot. Policy or predisposition favorable to Jays.
Semitism.
What's even more interesting is when you look up what predisposition actually means. Predisposition is an increased tendency or susceptibility to a particular condition, behavior, or disease, often due to genetic factors, but also influenced by environmental or personal factors. Semitism is supremacy, policy, or predisposition favorable to anyone is supremacy. It's supremacy. Let's see. I'm probably going to lose this shit. No, that won't work. I'm going to lose this feed. I didn't plug in enough time. And for some reason, it doesn't work. You'd think you plug in so it would work, it would stay working. No, it doesn't work. So we'll see how long this feed lasts now. It's probably going to die sooner than later, but that's okay. The Epstein list isn't real. You Democrats are overreacting. Trump forever. Right. Like, again, how stupid do you have to be? Trump was the one pushing the Epstein list forever. This idiot ran on that shit. I am address what's being said. You are emotionally invested in things outside of your realm of influence. What the fuck is this? The Epstein list is real. Your dear leader lied to you. You would ignore it if someone pointed it out. Yes, I would, says the Pizza King. I would ignore it. So you can say all this other dumb shit. You can continue commenting dumb shit over and over again without worry of whether I'm going to acknowledge it or not. But as soon as it comes to you telling the truth about something, then suddenly me acknowledging it is all that matters. Funny how it works. All these people who I have called, I said, look, if you're a Trump supporter, you're a pedophile. And all of these people who haven't come in here like, no, Trump is good because of this. Trump did this. Trump helped that. Trump changed this. Trump. Like, instead of selling Trump, they're just like, acknowledge, hey, yep, me too. Trump forever. Trump power. You know. Do you see what's happening? It's really important that people realize just how bad the pedophile problem. Joshua Jones says, I'm a pedophile. That's what he just said. I support Trump. I'm a pedophile. Like, this is just how they work. And just like if they're Christian, just like if they're Muslim, just like any other thing, if you ask them what it is that makes you support this, they don't have an answer. Hang on a second. Hang on one second. hoping this will work, because they're really zapping the shit out of my feed today. So let's hope this newer plug will work. I don't know. Isn't it messed up? I'm just dying to be him. I'm just a notch in your bedpost, but you're just a line in a song. Like, it's so funny because, you know, imagine if it was anybody else. If it was Obama that had anything even close to this kind of reputation, like, your average racist Trump supporter still talks about Michelle Obama is a man. There's literally that came from piece of shit J. Joan Rivers saying it. That's all. Everybody knows he's gay and Michelle is a man. Joan Rivers started that bullshit. Here we are 3 presidents later and people still talk about Obama. But when it comes to Trump and Katie Johnson and all that, they don't know anything. They just shut down. Oh, well, I don't know about that. The Katie Johnson story. Oh, well, you know. Obama deported more undocumented immigrants than any president in history. So, see, one of the things that stupid people never talk about is that Obama was the worst president of all time. He signed the Monsanto Protection Act. And this is something that none of you ever talk about, right? Because you're too stupid. You don't know things. The Monsanto... Morning, Dookie. How you doing? How'd you sleep? Oh, he's so happy he can finally wear his hoodie again. Trump was the worst, or Obama was the worst president until Trump signed the legislation on the Tuesday after Kobe died, which was the Wednesday before his impeachment was scheduled to come to a close. On that Tuesday, where nobody was there covering it, Trump signed the legislation that said all colleges and universities had to be pro-Israel and actively remove any anti-Israel content such as the BDS movement or anything like that, at the risk of losing federal funding. And that just went under the radar. People didn't notice it. Well, you're starting to see it now. Barack Obama is gay. Donald Trump don't like gay people, bitch, says some pedophile. He sure likes pedophiles, though. Immigrants are not the issue. Pseudo-Jews USA is turning into Israel. Yes. Yes. Well, it's been. It's not turning into anything. Get rid of the Jews in Israel first, fucks. Exactly. They don't know. They don't know. All of them in Israel's pockets. Doesn't matter. Exactly. Exactly. AIPAC controls the United States. AIPAC controls the government. And it's fairly obvious. Logan, Y-O-U-R gay. Come on, guys. Let's at least if we're going to insult people, let's spell things correctly. Lord, yes, if he didn't know he was on the list, him being found out, but once he realized it, he tried covering it up. Yeah, he knew he was on it. The whole Epstein list and all, this is all just the distraction. You have to understand, the Goyim wouldn't know about Epstein if they didn't want us to. Right? Like with Kanye. You know, Kanye has said all kinds of shit since the big thing. Probably what would be considered worse. But you're not told to talk about it. However, when they were putting Netanyahu, Bezalel Smotrich, Itmar Ben-Gvir, Avi Moaz, and the rest of this openly supremacist coalition who ran on the premise that they were going to retake Gaza Strip, You were distracted by Kanye. Suddenly now we're all supposed to care about random things Kanye tweets. And we all did. We were completely distracted while they were putting in this horrific coalition. And it's because they control the news. They control what they want you to see. When it comes to Epstein and Maxwell and all that shit, how much of the Jewish aspect of it have you heard them talk about? None. None. You don't hear anybody talk about any aspect, any of the Jewish stuff, any of the Israeli connection. None of it. And you can't talk about Epstein, well you can, but you shouldn't, talk about Epstein without talking about Maxwell, but not Ghislaine. You got to talk about her dad, who was the Epstein character before Epstein. Because remember, when Epstein got in trouble in 2009, it wasn't like he was some sort of famous person. It wasn't like he was some rock star. Nobody knew who the fuck he was. And you wouldn't know who he was unless they told you to know who he is. And of course, they have us all focusing on a dead guy. He's dead, supposedly. On a dead character. While nobody's talking about the Israel connections, nobody's talking about the Mossad connections, nobody's talking about, you can't talk about Epstein without talking about William Barr, and you can't talk about William Barr without talking about Donald Barr, his father, who was born Jewish but converted to Catholicism, because you know that happens all the time, and was a member of the original OSS, which is the original incarnation of the CIA, the Office of Strategic Services. And this guy, after being an OSS member, just went into education. He goes into the education sector where he's in a heavy influence on education, on what the Goyim learn and know. Epstein got his job at the Dalton Academy when he wasn't qualified whatsoever. And you know, shouldn't have, you know, I'm sure there were tons of other candidates for that job that were much more qualified than he was. He was given that job in 74, while William Barr was a CIA agent. Donald Barr was the headmaster of the school that he got the job at. And one of his last acts as the headmaster was to give Epstein the job. William Barr went to school. Well, actually, his brother is the same age as Epstein, 3 years younger than him. There's a photo of apparently William Barr and what looks like Epstein at a summer camp when they were kids. But you never know. But even more coincidentally, Donald Barr, Bill Barr's dad, the guy that gave Epstein the job, in 1973, a year before giving Epstein the job, he also just happened to write a book. He wrote a science fiction book about a society of space oligarchs, 7 families that ruled the galaxy or the universe, whatever. Remember, back in 73, we had a much smaller concept of the universe. If you go watch Superman 2, where they're talking to Jor-El, and you know he's telling the elders of Krypton that shit's gonna explode, and they say, Jor-El, you're crazy. In the 29 or 28 known universe or galaxies, nothing like this is happening. They're talking about there's 28 galaxies back in the 70s. But this guy wrote this book about the 7 oligarch space, the 7 families of oligarchs that controlled space, and they were so rich and powerful that apparently when you get super rich and powerful, you get bored. So that means you start fucking children.
But that was it. That's what they did. They were rich oligarchs who fucked children. Coincidentally, the guy that gave Epstein his first real gig, and the father of the guy who decided that Epstein shouldn't be looked into. That the Epstein case is open and shut, closed. Nothing to see here. Literally, it's all connected. But you don't know that. You're just stupid. You were raised by a narcissist, or were you taken as a child? Please explain why you have this love for the orange man. Because he's a fucking pedophile. Whoever you're talking about, Logan is a pedophile. He's a fucking pedo. That's why he says what he says. Anybody that supports Trump at this point is a pedophile. They're a pedophile. They have fucking pictures on their phone. They have a search history they don't want you to notice. You know, they might even be able to be like, oh, I'm not a pedo. I've never touched a kid. Yeah, but you have lots of child exploitation materials on your phone. And that makes you just as bad. You're, Y-O-U-R, a pedophile, says somebody really smart. Yep. Look at him. Donald Trump power. Acknowledging that this dude is a pedo means he's doubling down. He's not saying, no, that's not true. It's because of this or it's because of that. He's like, you know, making the statement more like, yes, I am Trump power. Like, that's what he's doing. He's just not, you know, we don't live in a society where these people can fucking out themselves without having to worry. So if he comes out and says, hell yeah, I'm a proud pedo, somebody will figure out his IP address and pay him a visit. At least they should. Yep. We gotta love Joe, who doesn't know his own yours. Is this a MAGA stream? Yeah. I mean, again, how did you all get so... Like, the news, that's all they talk about is the MAGA. Like, what are you, stupid? You're so stupid. I've asked you from the beginning, what is it that you hung your hat on with Trump? You know, he lost the first election. Well, he lost the first election. He lost the second election he was a part of, too. He lost by 2.7 million votes. 2,700,000 more people voted for Hillary than they did for your Agent Orange. And the swamp that he swore he was going to drain, the Apex swamp, they put him in office anyway. And nobody said a thing about it. Even Hillary, who could have gone down for all of the eternity of history, she would have gone down as the first female president of the United States. She was like, nah, I'll bounce. I know I won, but I'll just bounce. If you want the best for all humans, then you should, you know, we have to address the problem. The problems. And as I always say, you know, talking about the tentacles, sure, the tentacles are important, but you can't kill the monster by focusing on the tentacles. And cutting off all the tentacles one by one would take forever. By the time you get to the second, third tentacle, the first one's already grown back. We have to kill the monster. We have to cut the head off the monster. It's definitely not bored rich people. There are plenty of rich people out there who don't fuck with kids, who want nothing to do with any of that shit, who actually want it all to stop. But they're so worried about their finances being stolen from them. Kanye lost $2 billion in one day. That was the example that was given to you. Kanye was more an example for someone like me. Kyrie was the example for someone like you. You know, if you're going to just share, like I always tell you, share the link. like, sub, share. If you need to share it with the heading that this guy is crazy, somebody come telling me he's crazy, do that. Do whatever you need to do, but share the fucking feed. Like the feed, sub, do that shit. Show the system that you're opposed to it. But look at this shit. Look at how stupid you are. They told you to care about Kanye, so you cared about Kanye. They told you you're not supposed to think anything wrong with this cult. This extremely separatist, supremacist cult that literally wants nothing to do with you, that hates you, that thinks you're just goyim trash. You're supposed to be like, they're the God's chosen people. Whatever they want. Whatever they want. We just give them whatever they want. You've been reported to Truth Social. You're going to make Orange Man very mad. Of course you will, Joe. You're a pedophile. Calling someone a kid online is a narcissist tactic to stop them talking. F the Jews. There you go. It's emotional tactic to shut down the truth. Satan's chosen people. Oh, yeah. Got to believe in the bad guy now. It's not bad enough that you have an imaginary friend. Now you have an imaginary enemy. Why do you think they made it so that they're Satan's chosen people, right? It's so that you stay away from it. Because the obvious thought process is, okay, so I'm a Christian, but Christians are secondary. We're just the slave population. We're just the Gentiles. So why wouldn't I just convert to the number one thing, to the chosen people, right? Well, because so many of you have been convinced by this Satan bullshit that you go, oh, well, they're saying, oh, no, I want nothing. Like, if you ever tell anybody, especially like black women, you say something, they satanic. They're satanic cult or whatever. Oh, no. I don't want to even know. I don't even want to know. It's Satan. Satan, get away from me. I rebuke you. They won't even want to learn or know. Or like if they have some sort of advantage, some sort of ritual, some sort of whatever that they do, well, it immediately obfuscates it because you're going, those are Satan people. And I don't like Satan. Satan is a bad guy. So as soon as you associate it with the synagogue of Satan, you separate yourself. And they're the ones that gave that to you. They did that on purpose. Just like Christians want you to be a Christian to save your soul. Muslims, it's the same thing. Jays want you to be a Christian so that you think they're God's chosen people. They don't want you to be a Jay. They're not trying to convert you. But we have these pedos on here stroking each other, right? All these pedophile Trump supporters, they can't deny it. They forever Trump symbolized, racism, sexism, homophobia, that kind of shit. And unfortunately, those concepts are taboo, but they're still like acceptable in our society. Like it's definitely, those things are not on the level of pedophilia because it doesn't matter what your race, creed, whatever it may be, belief structure. Everybody thinks pedos should die. Everybody who's not a pedo thinks pedos should die. Nobody thinks they should have the pedo prayed out of them because that shit doesn't work. Nobody thinks we should send them to prison in a protected wing of the prison where they don't have access to Gen Pop and Gen Pop doesn't have access to them. And they get this protected wing of the cell the prison where they learn their craft even better amongst other pedos. They serve a couple of months, handful, slap on the wrist, and then they come and they move into your neighborhood. Nobody wants that shit. Nobody who isn't one of them wants that shit. And most of the time, like with anything, like you can change the subject to just about anything. You can change the subject to chemtrails. If I say I believe in chemtrails and you say, well, I don't, well, then that's okay. You're accepted by society. If I say, you know, I don't support Israel, and you say, well, I do, that's something that's accepted by a good portion of society. Even vaccines, I don't do the vaccines. Well, that's still something that when somebody says, well, I do, that's an accepted form of argument. But as soon as you say I'm against pedos, nobody can say, well, I'm not, I support them. That just makes that you just lose. Whatever situation you're in, you lose. So that's why they constantly try to change the subject into something that they can argue, especially something like submarines, which nobody else has been smart enough to question yet. That's something you can just say, well, I believe it. And when it comes to the racism, sexism, and homophobia with Trump, again, these are concepts where you go, yeah, I am kind of racist. And people go, well, or you are racist, but then you deny it. But then you do everything racist. People just sort of accept it. People accept sexism. People accept homophobia really like a lot. Homophobia is one of the best distractions that they give because it works just so well. But this thing with the pedos, right? As soon as it turned into Trump also represents pedos because I personally, and maybe again, I'm just speaking for myself. I can't speak for everyone else. But if I found child exploitation materials on my kid's phone, I would call the police. If you're my best friend for years, if you're my dad, if whatever it is, if I find out that you're a pedo, I'm calling the cops on you. Fuck that. I don't have any sympathy for that, even slightly, especially if you're somebody that was assaulted as a kid yourself. If you know the pain that causes and you do that to another child, you are so much worse than the people that just do it. Look at the person with the J name. There is no list. Retard. Who still says retard? Is the lost child somebody really let them down? Why do you say that shit, right? Everyone here is miserable. You meet all the commenters who are closet pedo supporters and can't fucking make any arguments? Look, if you're really denying this pedo thing, just go watch any pedophile hunter. Like, most of us can think of at least a handful of pedophile hunters. I can think of like 10 just offhand that are just on YouTube alone. They have Patreon, they have, what's the one? I don't know. I'm not super computer savvy, but there's pedophile hunters on Facebook. There's some that are exclusive to YouTube. There's some that are on YouTube but not on other pages. There are some that aren't on YouTube. They have their channels and whatnot. They just don't like YouTube's restrictions. But there are pedophile hunters everywhere. Chris Hansen, Takedown with Chris Hansen, will set up for a weekend in, Genesee County, Michigan, or down in Alabama or some shit. And in that 3-day period, they'll catch like 40 people. These pedophile hunters that you see online, like Gordon Flowers, who's a J piece of shit, but he does good work, so he gets a pass. Even though I wonder, like, he's a pretty open Trump supporter. Like, how, I wonder what he still thinks about that. And he's a J, so unless he's willing to denounce Judaism, he's a pedophile supporter. Because that shit is all pedophilic. But you see it, left and right. You see there's so many people doing this pedo hunter thing, and they're catching people every day, every 2 days. And the thing is, the people that they catch are just the people that had enough compulsion to go. A lot of people, pedos are cowards. All of them are cowards. It depends on how much of a compulsion they have. that they can break the cowardly, they can say, I'm going to try. Most of these pedos out here haven't hurt a child yet because they haven't had the opportunity to. But they're also exchanging pictures and videos and all that shit. This is one of the number one businesses, one of the top 5 online businesses in the world. Money makers in the world is the exchange and the selling of child exploitation materials, lots of which come out of Israel. That shit wouldn't be the case if it was random, every couple people or 1 out of 10, 1 out of 100 people, whatever. I think if you go out on your front lawn and you look up and down your street, I bet you at least half of them have child exploitation materials on their phone or their computer or a search history that they don't want you to see or whatever. It's the only thing that makes sense. Because if you look at the behind the scenes of any of these pedo hunters, they'll flat out tell you, the people they catch are like 1% of the people that actually hit up the profiles. And there is no excuse. There is no viable excuse when you say, somebody is like, Skylar 2012 is their name. They have 18 checked, and they or 21 or 31, so it's their age but backwards. In a picture of somebody that's obviously too young. If you hit that shit up, the name, especially with the date being on it, obviously this is a 12, 13, 14-year-old. There is no excuse for you to hit that child up. None. You have nothing to talk about. Maybe if it's like your nephew or something, or I don't know. You're like a community guy and the kid hits you and you're like, hey, you're looking like you're doing well in school there, buddy. Keep it up. Good job. Keep up the good work. Like, that's one thing, I guess. But if you don't know this child, you have absolutely no reason to be trying to talk to them. You have nothing in common with them. It's ridiculous. Why would you ever reach out to a child? What could they possibly say that would hold your interest? And these pedo hunters, as soon as they put up the profile, ding, 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 Logan's, ding, ding, Logan's there. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Ding, ding, ding. Those profiles get hit up more than like if the chick is like an obvious, hot 20-something. And she checks 24 and she's super hot and she's got scantily pictures, and doesn't matter. The kid profiles get hit up more than anything else. And so then you add, you do the math there, right? Look at my feed. Who are all these random people that are not only opposing me for whatever reason, opposing the guy who thinks we should kill pedos, but they're like acknowledging, like you say, Trump supporters are pedos, so they're like, yay, Trump. Like, they go out of their way to acknowledge what was just said. Who the fuck do you think those people are? It's the same people willing to overlook all of Trump's bullshit. They don't want someone like me, especially me, getting any sort of real platform, because they know I don't, to me, there is no second chance. You get caught. I think Stings should be able to post as 2 of the hottest 13-year-olds possible, offering gas money to come be a judge in their BJ contest. And if you show up to that shit, that's it, we kill you. There's no excuse. There's literally no, well, I was just trying to help them. Nope, sorry, dead. We're not going to put you in prison and waste a bunch of taxpayer dollars and blah, blah. No. We just kill you. And really, I think we should set up a program where we, because, we acknowledge that there are people out there that really do like to hurt people, rape people, torture people, kill people. Instead of pretending like this is some random thing, this is a lot more common than people realize. So I say, we start a program. And if you sign up for the program and you say, look, I agree to be monitored, and I have these feelings, but I agree to be monitored, and you know, as long as you don't hurt anyone else, as long as you're not monitoring on all these other, as long as you're not looking up child exploitation materials, as long as you're not, hurting anybody in real life, whenever somebody gets busted, they get given to you, and you can do whatever you want, hands free at that point. You want to keep that person alive for years, barely feeding them, beating them, raping them, torturing, go right ahead. Go right ahead. You should do that. You should be allowed to do that. And I guarantee if that's the punishment, if pedos know that by fucking with a kid, that they're going to be given to somebody just as sick or more sick than they are, it's going to eliminate a lot of it. And I believe if we start killing them off, preventing them from having children where they pass on this predilection, because I think it's something like gay, straight, I think it's a sexual identity. If you find children attractive, like I know as a kid, I didn't think the girls in elementary school were like super hot. Sure, you wanted a girlfriend, but that was so you could hold hands and shit. When I was a kid, I couldn't wait to stick my face in some titties. I just couldn't wait. I thought that was the most amazing thing you could do. And so, I think that there's a reason why so many people that end up violating somebody themselves get violated as a kid, and it's because they're giving off something. Just like you can tell a kid's gonna be gay, or you can tell a kid's gonna be a ladies' man, they give off these signals, these traits, and we recognize them because those are commonplace personalities in our life. Well, because pedophilia is so taboo, we don't recognize that there are traits. I know a kid in my neighborhood who, when he grows up, I am sure he's going to fuck with children. I know it. The way this kid, some of the things this kid has done over the years, they're things that when my kids find out that he did them, they're like, what the fuck? They want to beat him up for it. This kid's a fucking monster. He has the markers, the tells. And I think if we start really acknowledging that this is a predilection, this is how people are born. They're born with the capability of doing this. Like, you just have to look at it from the opposite perspective, right? If you think this is something that can just be cured, let me ask you, what could somebody do, if you're a straight man, what could somebody do to make you think, I'm going to put that dick in my mouth? What could somebody do to make you attracted to children? You think they could tape your eyelids shut or open and have you watch a bunch of gay porn, and eventually you're going to be like, now I know this was bad when I first started, but now it's starting to look good. No, you're not going to say that. There's nothing anybody can do to make you gay. There's nothing anybody can do to make a gay person straight. There's nothing anybody can do to make somebody that has the capability of fucking with children or raping somebody who's saying, no, stop it, I don't want to do this, and your dick still stays hard. You've got something else going on in there. This isn't a choice. You're not choosing to do that. You're acting on something in your brain that cannot be changed. And until we start acknowledging it for what it is, all you stupid fucking religious people that act like God's going to be the fixing of all. Dude, your God literally It's supposedly everywhere at all times, and knows everything is God's plan. So first of all, the children being raped is part of God's plan. And secondly, your God is everywhere at all times, meaning your God has this viewpoint, even closer, of children getting raped in the church and does nothing. Sits there and eats its popcorn. Oh yeah, that one hurts. Look at that one's bleeding. Ooh, that preacher right there, that clergyman is sick. Look what he's doing to that kid. Oh, geez. Oh, don't make him. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, sure wish somebody would do something about that. This popcorn needs more butter. Dinkle, dinkle, dink. That's better. Anyway. Your God is the biggest piece of shit ever if it exists, which it doesn't. But for you thinking that somehow the missing element is prayer, the missing element is religion, if I say pedophile, if the word priest doesn't come to your head, or if you claim the word priest doesn't come to your head within the first 5 words you think, you're lying. The one place that's more associated with pedophiles than anything else is the one place that shouldn't be. It should be the one place where there is no fucking pedophiles. Well, that's a weird looking cloud. And yet it's the biggest pedo organization in the world. When you say, I think it's Muslim T-boys and the Turkish armies. Right, you don't want to think about all the Christians. How the church continuously gets caught doing it. All the money that's been paid out to all the people that the church keeps raping. 2018, when the Pennsylvania diocese was exposed as 6 out of the 8 dioceses were riddled with pedophilia, and multiple stories of someone getting caught and then sending that person to another place in the United States without any sort of heads up. And the only reason it's 6 of 8 is because the 2 that weren't reported on were Amish communities. So there is no, there's not. It's like a separate community. We don't know. All of you Christians out there that aren't demanding that your churches, eliminate all of the pedos. Anybody with any shady history whatsoever is outed and eliminated. You don't do that. Oh, look at how stupid this is. Go talk to your God in person. Yeah, you can't. Look at how stupid this is. Influencer, what makes you so sure God gave us free will? Did he? Did he? So again, is it free will or is it God's plan? Which one is it? Your arrogance is outstanding. Well, some people are exercising it properly. I'm so sorry that you've never really met Jesus. I understand what you're saying, but yeah. You've met Jesus. I'm crazy, and you're saying you've met a zombie that's been supposedly dead for thousands of years. Because I'm crazy. Like, these are the crazy things that religious people say. It's just shocking. It really is shocking that people can be so stupid. Free will is God's plan, dummy. Oh. So then there's no plan, right? Because you can't plan for free will. Look at how crying these people are. Look how stupid they are. Where do you think it came from? Stupid. The devil. What do you think it came from? Yeah, the devil did it. So again, we have this situation where God is all powerful and everything, but somehow the devil seems to override his power. So God's looking this way and the devil sneaks up from behind him and starts fucking with shit, and God goes, hey, what was that? And the devil sneaks behind him and starts fucking with shit, and God, wait, what was that? What was that? What was that? What was that? And it just keeps going back and forth, right? The devil does it. Oh, it's the devil. You're talking in circles. You know absolutely nothing about religion. Do an ounce of research, right? Again, isn't it funny how people will say stupid shit like that, but won't say anything concrete? Yeah, you can make all these blanket statements all you want, but why don't you point to one thing I'm getting wrong and focus on that? Or even better, why don't you tell me why your arrogant ass believes that Christianity is correct and Islam isn't? What is it? What proof do you have that one is correct over the other? Let's see if anybody even tries to answer that shit. I'm going to the nightclub now. I hope everyone can live their life like the past doesn't exist. Right. Hey, as long as you're having fun, fuck everybody else, right? Fuck all the kids that are starving, being starved to death by Israel until a bomb can be dropped on the tent that they live in because their house was already bombed to bits. Yeah, fuck all of them. Fuck all the children that are constantly raped by the church. You're going to the nightclub. Hope you have so much fun at the nightclub. Let's see. Nobody's going to address it. Nobody is going to go get help. Yes, I need to get help because I don't believe in the sky daddy you believe in. That you have no idea why. Why do you believe in sky daddy? Israel #1. Somebody is flying the pedo flag 2 years ago. No subscribers with a thing that says baby Stitch, trying to lure kids into their page. Baby Stitch, look, it's baby Stitch. Fucking pedos, man. I don't know how anyone can carry on with their normal life when there's such horrible things happening right now. Lord Jesus, please come for us. What's stopping your Lord Jesus, Kelly? And of course, Kelly, you're going to ignore 1 Timothy 2:12, right? Like you like the Bible and all that, but not that verse, right? I literally said I hope everyone else lives their best life. Right. You said lives like nothing and like the past doesn't exist. Right? And as long as you're living your best life, fuck trying to help anyone else, right? Isn't that what you're saying? It's all about you. Just be selfish. Just make sure you're living your best life. Well, your best life means you avoid all this shit. You know, you don't want to talk about it because you'll get targeted. You don't want to do that. Why don't you ever respond to me? Because you're some dumbass broad. That's why. You've already proven what a dumb piece of shit you are and that you're not going to say anything that matters. So there's no reason. Triggered, left hard, rainbow faggots squealing again and it's hilarious, says Billy the pedophile. Right, Billy? Billy is a pedophile. Joined 1 year ago, has 3 subscribers. Look up. Guy Williams talks shit about a 12-year-old girl. Let's see. Let's find it. Where should I look this up? Let's see. Let me see if I can find this. Because I'm going to find it. Because I know it's true. Williams talks. Oh, it disappeared. What the hell? Talks about 12-year-old. Let's see. Guy was talking shit about a 12-year-old girl. Let's see. Came to his birthday party. Like, he's attracted to. Oh, this is the J Crew. That's inside. She's really not an attractive girl, but she is in 6th grade. She's a little overweight. And so she has. Oh, I'm actually talking about the pedophile, one of the pedos that's around here, and how he's attracted to a 12-year-old girl. But let's leave that part out. Weird 6th grader boobs on this little bitty body. Weird 6th grader boobs, right? Not great. It's just weird. It's just weird. But she, right now she has blue hair, but there's like this much root showing because it's been a while. But She dresses in like weird vintage shit, and she has a level of confidence that you wouldn't expect someone that looks like her to have. But it's because she wasn't given that bullshit. You know, she wasn't, her parents clearly don't constantly, well, what would the neighbors think? Oh, you can't wear that. That looks silly here. You know, they just let her be the person that she is. And granted, there's probably, you know, there's definitely some negatives that come along with that. You know, she has an inflated sense of entitlement. Craig, what's going on, man?
Oh, this is funny.
Pulled out of your shit. What's up, Craig?
This is a something from like years ago on YouTube or on Facebook. So think about this. Somebody has this little clip thing that they've made it in a way that somehow me saying somebody being attracted to a sixth grader is weird and wrong. Yeah, that's me. I'm talking shit about a 12-year-old girl by saying how great it is that she's allowed to be the person she is. Boy, that's amazing. Yeah, that definitely makes me look bad. Because, you know, I have an entire page called The Jew Crew that is dedicated to me. So these people have all of these clips and shit from when and where. Who even knows? But that's, yeah, oh man, I sure sound like I'm like, fuck yeah, you should get that 12-year-old. Like, this is the best you can come up with. You can't even make it work. You can't even make it work. This is the best you can come up with. You got to bring up dumb shit from the past that doesn't even say what you're saying it does, because you can't actually engage in the conversation that's being had. Boy, you're a Jewish fed, so you're a piece of shit. Answer why you even mention her boobs in the first place. Because the point being, like if you could see the previous part that was conveniently cut off, it's talking about how, why would anybody be attracted to sixth graders? Their boobs look weird. Prepubescent boobs don't look right. Just like in the Godfather, which again I'm all for canceling the Godfather, one of the greatest films ever made, because of the scene that involves the 14-year-old with the weird fucking prepubescent boobs that no real man should be attracted to. But this is the best you can do, huh? Seriously? This is the best you can do? To think that anybody would be attracted to 12-year-old girls' boobs or a 12-year-old girl's anything? You shouldn't say that. You shouldn't point out why somebody shouldn't be attracted to that, because it's fucking weird. But hey, nice try though. Nice try. Yeah, all you Trump supporters, right? Look we have a whole bunch of Team Jorge profiles on here, trying to stroke each other because they can't make any reasonable arguments. Don't give them their energy. I'm not. I'm addressing what's being said because I don't fear them. Because pointing out what they point out instead of, you know, these aren't people that are saying we should kill pedos. You know, you could literally post like a 24-hour video of clips of me saying we should kill pedos. There's no excuse for it. We should kill them, blah, blah, blah. But when talking about how somebody else finds a 12-year-old girl attractive, and of course, again, you have to cut it. Even still, why does somebody have a clip from years ago of me? Who is going to do that? I'm nothing, right? I'm some doofus with a 2,500 subscribers, maybe 2,400 subscribers. And yet somebody has
clips of me. When I ask these same people, prove you're not Israeli, prove you're not a bot. You know, make a 5-minute video where you talk to the camera, not you make, but you personally talk to the camera, and you talk about what a piece of shit I am. You know, you talk about what I'm wrong about, you talk about what a piece of shit I am, and you call it Guy Williams sucks. And then I'll pull it up on my phone while we're doing this, and I'll show the world that you're a real person, and that you're a real person, and that you know, I must just suck, right? I've given you guys this option for years, for over a year now at least. I've begged for you guys to, come on, make me look bad. And instead of doing anything of the sort, what they do is they just make all sorts of these goofy ass videos talking about this and that, like, oh, he responded to us. The best one is the one at the bottom, the first one they made. This is the one that was supposed to be the Guy Williams sucks video, right? Guy Williams sucks. So they came on here bragging about how they actually made the video. So I went to go look at it. And basically, it's a bunch of clips where I've hurt their feelings, where I've said something that talking about their little penises or something like that, that really hurts their feelings. So they have all these clips from the years that I've been going on multiple platforms. All these clips saved and documented and queued up, ready to go, along with a bunch of Israeli propaganda videos. Can you imagine how long a 5-minute, 16-second video compilation took to make? Where you have all of these clips time-stamped and saved on all of these different videos on multiple platforms where I've hurt your feelings. You have that little clip clipped, and then in between the clips of me, you have Israeli propaganda. Who do you think did that? All of you are welcome to prove you're not bots. And of course, they put music on, so I can't play it because the music will get me in trouble. All you have to do is make a video called Guy Williams Sucks. And you're going to make one tonight. Let's see it. I can't wait. I bet this is another one of these empty promises. Let's see. And I'll show it on the live. Because I'm so worried about what they have to say. Oh, here we have this. Now we've got a clip from Ed Norton. If you're a pedo, do one good thing in your life. Make the world a better place and kill yourself. Okay. So there. Now we have a picture of Tom Cruise in a movie. Can't show it. Now we have some Jews dancing. They're celebrating after I've supposedly killed myself. Let's see. What does this say? What does this say? This says, and imagine how much effort it took in here. A Bay City man is facing up to life in prison for his alleged habit of publicly exposing his privates. The first of 2 incidents allegedly involving Christopher A. Guy Williams. That's his nickname, is Guy. His name is Christopher A. Williams. Not my name. 31, much older than 31, occurred about 4:45 a.m. on March 20th. And besides, Bay City is like hours from here. Police responded to a 7-Eleven, blah, blah, blah. So this isn't me, but this is, and they know about this. Think about this. They know about all this random shit. Let's see what else they come up with. Oh, now there's this. Now we have more Jewish propaganda.
Think that chicks fake orgasm. I can't even imagine doing it.
White guys are super insecure about their dicks. Okay, so again, a random clip slowed down of me saying I can't even imagine doing it, which who knows what. And then I say white guys are insecure about their dicks. So they post a picture of this that says, does that make Jews better? Think about how much editing had to go into this. How much time this video took to make. Instead of making a quick 5-minute video of somebody, a human being, talking to the camera like I am, which would literally take you 5 minutes to make, this is what they do instead. All this Jewish property. Not only do they have all of my live feeds and whatnot saved and cataloged and time-stamped, but they also just happen to have all this Jewish propaganda just at their hands.
Does it make Jews better? Makes the Jews different. It's so strange. They used paragliders to cross.
It's so strange. Okay. Again, these little clips. Now it says, this is what he supports. Because its video shows how Hamas launched unprecedented attack. Because, you know what you're looking at in this video. But again, it sure seems like this is pro-Israel Jewish propaganda. But let's see.
You see one flying here, right next to a barrage of rocket.
Sure. Tons of Jewish propaganda. Oh, now we have the paraglider video that Hamas apparently put out because people were saying how ridiculous it was, Israel's claim that Hamas used paragliders. And because Hamas didn't want people thinking that was ridiculous, they put out the training video showing them actually using the paragliders. That totally makes sense. Let's see. Some more Israel footage. More propaganda footage. Oh, here we go. This is some dumbass nonsense. Okay, let's see.
Bernardo was walking around. Me and Bernardo is this cow. You stupid.
Think about this. Like, these are different clips edited together where I'm saying one thing and then I yell at my cat, cow, stop doing whatever cows do. But Ian Bernardo is a cow. They've literally taken the time to figure this out. Do you understand how difficult this would be to put together? How many hours and manpower had to go into this?
Yes.
Oh, that was a video from Instagram. This is another video from Facebook. So we're looking at Facebook videos that they have saved. Caught that nigga, blah, blah. Okay, so now we're doing all sorts of... We just saw... So now they just put in a clip of what looks like a car crashing into a bunch of little kids. You tell me what makes sense here.
I don't know the story.
Car crashing into little kids. They like that shit. Footage of guy on YouTube, which is, what is this? Oh, this is a monkey. Ha ha, it's a gorilla. Ha ha, that's footage of me, right? Because, again, this is all instead of doing the talking video that says Guy Williams sucks, right? Oh, more Israeli propaganda. More Israeli propaganda. More and more Israeli propaganda videos. What's this say? Okay, what else?
She is in 6th grade.
Right, this is the clip of the other part.
A little overweight, and so she has weird 6th grader boobs on this little bitty body.
Right, saying that because a girl is overweight at 6th grade where she shouldn't have boobs yet, she's overweight, so she does, which makes her attractive to a sick piece of shit. Okay. Oh, we're just going to leave that. We're just going to cut that. It says, wait, let's see.
So she has weird 6th grader boobs on this little.
Now we're going to go back to playing some Alice in Chains. Guy's crib when Mossad catches him. That's what it just said. All right. You're a pedophile guy. Respond to this video and I will confront you face to face. Prepare for war, guy, you fuck. Take out your wiener, you coward. Wants me to pull my dick out? Like, who the fuck does this? Who the fuck says this shit? other than sick Israelis. Okay. You gotta keep pausing it so we don't upset the YouTube censors. I must not be doing good, right? To warrant this kind of attention, this kind of effort to be put into me, right? This is, I must be doing something wrong. Oh my God. Yep. We know you feel alone. You're pieces of shit. We get you. All right. Let's go. Come on. Let's get back to more propaganda. Why would they include this song in here? So I can't play it on the live feed because, you know, the restrictions. Okay, come on, let's get some more stuff. This is the Jew crew. That's who this is. The Jew crew has made this video. That's what they call themselves, the Jew crew. So we're just gonna keep playing the song? Is that all we're doing here? These are music. This is songs I like. Okay, so that's the end of it. That is the response to me saying, make a 5-minute video where you as a human being prove that you're a real human being and not an Israeli bot or an Israeli. You know, we'd be able to see your face. If you showed your face, we'd see what you look like. And this is who does this. How many other truthers, how many other, you know, people in my position can you say somebody has put that much time into where they've made a 5-minute compilation video of little clips from multiple sources, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. They have all of this shit clipped and they clip it together. So in some cases, it's just a little 5-second, well, blah, blah, blah. Ian Bernardo is a cow. Like, think about that. The amount of effort that had to go into that video for somebody that doesn't matter, for somebody that's not, you know, not saying anything that matters, but the same people that put these videos out make multiple fake profiles so they can watch me every single day and then, you know, timestamp my videos and shit. Make this make sense, guys. Tell me somebody else who you can say this about. Oh yeah, Ian Bernardo. I was trying to remember who Ian Bernardo is. You guys remember who Ian Bernardo is? Ian Bernardo was the guy from So You Think You Got Talent. He did the So You Think You Can Dance and So You Think You Got Talent. He's one of the or maybe no, American Idol. But he was the, you gotta see it. You gotta see it. I gotta look it up because he's such a clown. Turns out he's a soldier. He's an IDF member. Like all this shit. Ian Bernardo. This guy lives with his mom. I live with my mom. So what? Oh, this is so funny.
He's the ultimate New Yorker with an inflated sense of self-entitlement.
Gotta pause it.
And a mouth to match.
He's got a nasty G mouth. This guy came in a fucking fake fur and shit.
So Ian, didn't we see you on another one of these competition shows recently?
Yes, you did, actually. It was So You Think You Can Dance.
Oh my God. He's so fucking gross.
Well, don't start taking anything off.
Okay,
Wasting our time.
I'm
So-
wasting your time?
Yes.
Who is
That British piece of
Think about that. Like, so me talking about that guy has the people who made my video so mad that they included it. The one video I mentioned Ian Bernardo on, they happened to say it. Or they happened to save it and clip this one little piece. Like, seriously. Do you understand the effort that it would take to put that video together? There was the threat that if I showed this video, they're going to confront me face to face because it's a war. Those cowards won't do shit. They won't do a goddamn thing. They're a bunch of cowards. Like, and the thing is, that is supposed to make me feel like, like I'm supposed to feel bad about that? That somebody took the time and effort to make that shit? Trump is a Russian asset. No, he's not. Melania is the Israeli asset. She's the power behind the throne. You guys just don't realize it. Wars ended by Trump. Yeah, Trump didn't do shit. Shut up. Trump is Putin's old bitch. No. Trump is Bibi's bitch. When did you ever see Putin come to the United States and Trump pull out and push in his chair? Never happens. I don't even know. I couldn't even put together that video. Do you understand that? I couldn't put together a compilation video of things that I said at this point or that. I would have no fucking idea. And that was the response to make the video where you're talking. And then they came and bragged like, we did it. We did it. Search the video. Show this. That's how desperate these guys are for my attention. And I mean, it's just such a strange thing. It's such a strange fucking thing. How can anybody be that stupid? It's shocking. It really is shocking to think that, you know, because it's either, listen, it's either some losers who are just obsessed with me living in their mom's basement, Mr. Krabs and shit, or it's Israel. And it would be one thing if it was just some compilation, but to put all the Israeli propaganda in it, I don't know how else you're going to see it, right? You feel safe with the National Guard in D.C., I bet. Who cares, though? Why tell us? You won't even show us the video. What are you, stupid? I just did. You dumbass. Are you being trolled? Maybe a little. Trump just lies and everyone is just stupid. Enjoy your smoke, bruv. Don't pay attention to stupid folks. You have to acknowledge what's going on. It would be one thing if it was just some idiot making comments. But the fact that it's an entire Team Jorge. Let's show you guys what it is. So, as always, so predictably, before we pull up the information on Wikipedia, Wikipedia being the best source of information, because it's the source that they want us to use, first we're going to talk about Naftali Bennett. At this point, he's a former prime minister of Israel, but at the time, 2010, when this was recorded, he was a future prime minister of Israel and was just an Israeli agent, was a high-ranking Israeli agent. So this is Naftali Bennett in 2020 or 2010 talking to the IsraelNationalNews.com.
Moetzet Yesh, in conjunction with My Israel, has arranged Instruction Day for wiki editors. The goal of the day is to
Good morning, how are you?
how to edit in Wikipedia, which is the #1 source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone searches the Gaza flotilla, we want to be there. We want to be the guys who influence what is written there, how it's written, and to ensure that it's balanced and Zionist in nature.
Okay.
Came here to learn.
So imagine if somebody else was like, yeah, we control Wikipedia and we edit things so that everything is balanced and Chinese, Afghanistani, you know, pro this, pro that in nature. By saying it's Zionist in nature, they taught the #1 source of information in the world how to do their job, because they had only gotten to the number one source of information in the world status. They obviously needed Israel to come in and tell them what they were doing wrong. And he even gives you an example of the Gaza flotilla, which happens to be the thing Ken O'Keefe comes from. Ken O'Keefe just emerges from this Gaza flotilla narrative. And that's where, you know, that was Greta Thunberg 2010 when a convoy of ships, like yachts, big ass yachts, ferry boats, whatever, tried to bring food, supplies, medicine into Gaza, tried to bypass the Israeli blockade by bringing ships through international water. But instead, their ships were, just like with Greta Thunberg, the ship was boarded by the Israeli military at 3, 4 in the morning. They attacked. On one of the ships, the ship Ken O'Keefe was on, apparently they fought back. The narrative is that they killed one Israeli soldier and wounded several others, but you won't find any proof of that. But the Israelis on that ship killed 9 out of the 11 people on that ship, one of the 2 was Ken O'Keefe that they happened to let go. 9 of which were killed, 6 of which were killed execution style. So they were on their knees and they got shot in the head. That's the story that he tells us to go look at because they control it. Now, that's just me dealing with the crybabies who will be like, you can't use Wikipedia. Wikipedia is no good. Anybody can edit Wikipedia. If anybody could edit Wikipedia, they could destroy Wikipedia. All they would have to do is click edit, click select all, click delete, click save, and on to the next thing. They could absolutely destroy it. You can suggest an edit in some cases on Wikipedia. But that edit just goes to the editors who decide whether it's balanced and Zionist in nature. And if it is, then maybe it'll stick around. But if it's not, they remove it. So our first lesson today will be act.il. Go ahead and look up act.il. You can read along with me. How's that? Act.il happens to be one of these Wikipedia pages that's completely locked. So anybody can edit Wikipedia. Well, not this page. Nobody can edit Wikipedia. Somebody did. The Israelis did. But you can't. And keep in mind, when I'm reading this, that this is what Israel wants us to know. act.il was a social networking service used by supporters of Israel to oppose online anti-Israel content, such as the Boycott, Divestments, and Sanctions Movement, BDS. Its activities were referred to as, quote, an online propaganda campaign and a, quote, virtual situation room for pro-Israel experts. Now, pay attention, pay attention. act.il directed its users to, quote, missions to like, comment on, and share pro-Israel material on social media. It also asked users to flag, report, and respond to criticisms of Israel. Users were guided how to respond, which might entail writing a reply using the provided talking points. So when so many of them say the same dumb shit, like schizophrenia, like crackhead, like whatever, even the submarines thing, like they don't understand what titles mean. And let's just say this video was about submarines at one point, but now it's about this, that they want us to go back to talking about submarines. These are all the provided talking points. The provided talking points are never, you're wrong about Israel, we're good about this, you're wrong about the Jays, we're good because of this. That's never what they're provided with as a talking point, as a reply. The app also provided users with ready-made memes promoting Israel's perspective for them to share. Pay attention. By completing missions, users earned points, unlocked badges, and had their scores displayed on leaderboards. They made doing this into a real-life sort of video game where they get prizes for what they do. It's right here. It's so well known and commonplace that there's a Wikipedia page about it. That's how crazy this is. That's why so many of these guys sit on here for hours and hours and hours, day after day after day, trying to rack up as many points as they can. They literally, all of these people on here, if they're real people, not just bots, real people could be literally doing anything. They could be watching anything. They could, you know, anything on YouTube. There's plenty of options on YouTube, but Facebook, Hulu, whatever other bullshit profile platforms you know of, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. They could be doing anything else on there. They could be, you know, they could be making their own content. They could be playing video games. They could be watching anything on TV, DVDs, you know, Fire Sticks, whatever. They could actually be outside, gardening. They could go roller skating. They could go bowling. They could go skydiving. They could literally be doing anything else in the world, and they're here day after day, hour after hour, week after week, month after month, begging for my attention by saying the dumbest shit possible. And if you ask them why they're here, what motivates them, they don't have a response. They won't answer that simple question. I can tell you why these guys are here more than they can tell you. Why are you here trying to interfere with the guy who thinks we should kill pedos? Who thinks we should override the J slavery that controls all of us, rapes children, is committing genocide right now? Who the fuck is going to oppose that? Well, other than act.il or Team Jorge. Team Jorge. Team Jorge is the name given to an outfit of Israeli contractors specialized in the use of malign cyber activities, including sabotage, hacking, and bot farm on social media disinformation campaigns to manipulate the outcomes of elections. They can fuck with elections. They can fuck with me. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. And this, Team Jorge, is just one Israeli black ops organization, well-funded, blah, blah, blah. This is just the one organization that was exposed. The group was exposed in February of 2023 after an award-winning undercover operation by journalists from, it says Israel and France right there, but if you look deeper, it's France, Germany, Indonesia, Israel, Kenya, Spain, Tanzania, and the United States. It's a lot bigger than they say it is. The organization has been active since at least 2015 on paper, which is, again, just before your buddy Trump lost the election by 2,700,000 votes, and AIPAC put him in anyway after he swore he was going to drain the swamp. They've been active since at least then on paper, and boasts of having manipulated 33. Gotta love that 33. Either you hear 33 and instantly go, oh, okay, or you just think it's another number. But even like low-level truthers know what 33 represents. 33 presidential elections worldwide. Don't worry, white guys. Many of them are in Africa. Many, meaning 4 or more, are in Africa. And in 27 cases with successful results. 82% of the time, this one Israeli black ops organization tries to manipulate the outcome of an election for their client. They have been successful. 82% of the time. Considering we're talking about something with millions of variables each time, they're still able to successfully, 82% of the time, have success. Their activities were revealed following a 2022 sting operation in Tel Aviv carried out by 3 undercover journalists who posed as prospective clients and filmed their interactions with Tal, T-A-L, Hanan, H-A-N-A-N, the group's leader and former Israeli Special Forces operative, in which he explained how things work. He said, now the leader of the thing said, Team Jorge has existed for more than 2 decades and has been engaged in propaganda and disinformation activities in more than 30 countries. But on paper, it's only 2015. Their services have been available to government intelligence agencies, political campaigns, and private companies that wish to covertly manipulate public opinion. And it's so well known because the story was exposed it in 2023. And like major news outlets, surprise, surprise, didn't cover this. But a bunch of alternative media sources covered this. And it's so well known that there's a Wikipedia page literally bragging about their capabilities to interfere with elections. And it's not like a, you've never heard of it. Why have you never heard this story? Unless you've been on my feed, like I've only seen one other conspiracy place talk about this. That's how strange this is. But it's also so commonplace that there's a Wikipedia page about it. Meaning, Israel put this out so we would know that they control our social media. How do they do that? Well, one of the organization's primary tools is a software package called Advanced Impact Media Solutions, or AIMS. The software automates centralized control of thousands of fake social media profiles, bots, or a more accurate term, they said, if you actually read the articles, they said it's more accurately avatars, because each avatar has multiple profiles, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. They have profiles on each one, and their ability to communicate is better than anything else that's known to exist. All the nerds that were involved in exposing this story in all those different countries had never seen a technology like this. And Tal Hanan says that the software is capable of generating 30,000 bots at a time. Remember, this is just one Israeli Special Forces Black Ops organization. So if there's 10 of these, and trust me, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of Israeli Black Ops corporations. If there's just 10 of these groups, and they decide they want someone to be a star overnight, well, each one of these groups makes their 30,000 bots, sends it to the page, and they like the shit out of it. Overnight, this person has 300,000 fucking, 300,000 likes and all this other shit. They can make people and they can break people with this technology. And considering you can ask these profiles why they're fucking here and they won't tell you, well, what makes more sense? That they're just regular people who don't have a reason why they're here, trying to interfere with the guy who thinks we should kill pedos and overthrow the Israeli control of the system and stop the genocide and free the people and all that shit. They're just regular Americans who are like, no, we should keep giving Israel $3.8 billion a year as a lump sum cash payment in the first fiscal month of every year, along with billions and billions of more dollars in equipment throughout the year. We should keep doing that. It's either people along those lines or it's Israelis. It's these Israeli bots. And just in case you're wondering, let's see. So this is what bot farms look like. These exist. Now this is something in Asia, so of course it throws off the signal, or it throws off the trail. That's just one. Imagine that, but being supercharged by the Israeli government, who has, billions and billions. We give them 3.8. Canada gives them $2 billion. Australia gives them $1.2 billion. Like, do you know how many people give Israel money? Our $3.8 billion, once the exchange happens, turns into about 15 billion shekels, their money. 15 billion. Here you go. Here's another bot farm. All these phones, all of these profiles connected to a main source. Look at all of them. This is what bot farms look like, but you don't think they exist, right?
This is a Chinese phone farm, and these phones represent some of the people you're arguing with in the comments. You may find this hard to believe, but what you're seeing is just one example of the hundreds, if not thousands, of these farms around the world today. Each farm has hundreds of smartphones, often with their screens and batteries removed, placed into racks and connected to a single computer. Each phone represents an individual user. One command from the computer can trigger hundreds of likes, follows, and even star ratings. But if you think that's crazy, here's more. With artificial intelligence, they can now generate smart, human-like interactions tailored to a video's topic, such as comments in the comments section. But why do they do this? Mostly to make money. Click farmers get paid for fake engagement, earning 2 cents for 1,000 views on TikTok, for example, or 11 cents for 1,000 likes on Instagram. However, the biggest problem is if these Chinese phone farms are used not just to make money, but to sway elections. This is
You mean like Team Jorge? Team Jorge and their 27 out of 33 presidential elections that have been swayed? Again, notice how not one of these people is even trying to address why they're here. God loves you, even if you're a pedophile and stupid as a bag of sand. That sounds like a typical Christian. Typical pedophile Christian. Look at this shit, man. You need to own your own and throwing insults. I mean, Grizzly, did you not just see what I showed you? Like, I try to encourage you guys not to get involved because you guys can get worked up and, whatever. I already know what I'm dealing with. They don't bother me in the slightest. As a matter of fact, all of this attention, it inspires me. It motivates me. I must be doing something right to get this much attention. Seriously, why hasn't anybody answered me on this? How much effort do you guys think it would have taken to make that 5-minute plus video of clips from my different videos and profiles throughout the years? We're talking years worth of profiles and little clips that these pieces of shit have saved. What would they have time-stamping little shit for? And again, it's all stuff that it's like only a fucking little dick Israeli pedo would be upset about what I'm saying. I say white guys have little penises, and they're like, don't you say that. Don't you say that. You're, Y-O-U-R, on the bot list. Gotcha. The same effort you're putting in right now. Yes. Me lazily talking to a live feed is the same thing as making a 5-minute video with clips from multiple videos, multiple platforms throughout the years, little time-stamped things that are manipulated to say stupid shit, obviously clipped together to say stupid shit, while also being spliced in with Israeli propaganda. Yep, that's the same thing as what I'm doing right now. Totally makes sense. And remember, all of these people are here every fucking day. Every single day they come here crying, begging for attention, trying to interrupt and interfere with the guy who thinks we should kill pedos. Does that even make sense to you? Hang on a second. Fucking ridiculous. Hang on a second, you crazy weirdos. Cheese and rice. Here's my math. Yep, that's my math. Like I say, it would make more sense if you guys went with heroin or fentanyl or something like that. Because I'm clearly not a meth head. Like, it just doesn't fit. Doesn't fit the personality. Cheese and rice indeed. You know, the funniest thing is this is supposed to make me feel like I'm losing. Why would I feel like I'm losing if I required this much effort? If I'm getting shit that nobody else gets, you know? If most of the time the comment section gets shut off, it hasn't in the last 2 videos. Maybe it'll happen now that I said something. By the way, like, share, and sub if you're watching. Don't forget that shit. Show the system they can fuck themselves. And if you don't like what I'm doing, smash the dislike, smash it. You know, just pay attention. I highly suggest you pay attention to what's happening. I should be able to ask these guys what their motivation is, and then they go, oh yeah, the reason I spend hours on your feed every single day, day after day, week after week, month after month for over a year now, the reason I do that is because of... You would think they would have something. They just don't. They don't. Yes, I am a psyop. Prove to us you're, Y-O-U-R, not a lizard person. Yep. Anything to distract. You know the whole lizard people thing? If you just replace lizard people with Jews, it makes the same sense. Literally every aspect of it. Even the whole shapeshifter thing, just not like physical shapeshifters, but literal, but not literal, but like figurative, where they blend in, they steal cultures and blend in and, you know, override. You know, black culture is all dictated by Jews. They don't want to acknowledge it, but then so is white culture. Do you guys realize, like, the whole redneck personality was designed by them to make white people as stupid as they'd made black people? To create the thug, the nigga personality, they had to do that with the white person. So they made the redneck, the hillbilly. Shit wasn't real. If you go back and you look at old footage, right? They interview people from the South. They're not like, well, I tell you what, I don't even know who my sister is, but she sure is pretty. You'll never see people like that. You might see that, like, South Carolina sort of, well, can I borrow $1 from you, sir? That kind of shit. But you're not going to see, you know, the Beverly Hillbillies. Again, all Jays pretending to be hillbillies. Roseanne, all Jays pretending to be white trash. The show Hee Haw, the longest running, you know, sketch comedy, this, that, and the other show, blah, blah, blah. All Jays pretending to be dumb rednecks. There's a film by Ken Burns, who on PBS where he does another deep dive into the history of hillbilly music and whatnot. And the narrative is that back in the 20s and shit, there used to be large radio towers that could send signals all across the US. People were getting the same radios. Like, it's fucking silly when you think about the limitations of radio today. But back then they used to be able to have towers that could send signals all over the country. And it was all dominated by a select few. And lots of classically trained musicians would come down from New York and all that, bunch of Jays. And they were like, look, we're not making the money playing classical, so we want to jump on this hillbilly wagon. Well, the owners, the people that controlled it, wouldn't let them just be themselves and play this music that they were good at playing. No, they had to put black shit on their teeth. They had to put on overall. My name's Billy Jim. They had to start talking like that, and they had to put forth this hillbilly persona in order to be, you know, now Oh Brother, Where Art Thou kind of documents that a little bit, right? Where the George Clooney character is not your standard redneck, like the little guy that he picks up, the Soggy Bottom Boys. But that's basically what happened. You would go to a place and they would be like, all right, well, you gotta, you know, let us hear it. And we're gonna call you the Soggy Bottom Boys and shit like that. Like that's how the redneck thing came to be. If you go look at, there's a documentary, a prison documentary made about Rikers Island back in like the late 70s, early 80s. And other than the black guys that, you know, man, talk like this, brother, you know, because that was a way that black people talked in the 60s and 70s because that's what they were told to talk like. But if you watch the prison documentary, you're not going to hear a bunch of idiots talking about, yo, my mother told me the other day that my brother was down the street, son. Done, son. You know, or down the street, because that's another, you know, I'm in these streets, dog. I got that scrumph. I'm in these streets. None of that shit exists. If you weren't looking at it, you really wouldn't be able to tell the black guys from the white guys in the prison. It was all manufactured. 8888 is when the best boy band ever created, NWA, released their album. Completely manufactured. Niggas with attitude. But if you're white, you're not allowed to say that. Like, just the stupidity in thinking that white people aren't allowed to say the word. So you're the one identifying it with black people, because it's just a word. It describes anyone ignorant. But if you're brainwashed enough to think that only black people can say that and white people shouldn't say it, that's some MK Ultra shit. One of the greatest weapons, the greatest operations MK Ultra ever did was getting black people to commit crime at the utterance of a phrase, at the utterance of a word. Just like MK Ultra is supposed to work, right? MK Ultra, you know, is all about a phone. Like, you look at Sirhan. Says he was at home cleaning the house, phone rang, suddenly he's holding Robert Kennedy's body. Like, what the fuck just happened? And you can see it in his face. The narrative is that somebody says a phrase to you, whether it's a phone call or in person, And it triggers a secondary personality that's already been programmed into you, where your first personality shuts off and you're capable of doing things you wouldn't normally do and that you'd never remember doing. And of course, their greatest trick was convincing everyone that they disbanded this program that they were just getting good at. But when you look at how it works now, black people can be goaded into committing crime, which only benefits the Jays, right? Only. If white guy says it, black guy flips out, kicks his ass, black guy now goes to J-owned jail prison, where he has to get a J lawyer to go talk to the J judge so that, you know, he can pay his fines or do his time, whatever it is. While white person that got his ass beat has to go to the J doctor to get his at the J hospital to get his wounds stitched up. Then he has to hire the J lawyer to see the J judge, you know, for the process. Like, it's all just for their benefit by tricking black people into committing crime at the utterance of a word. It's fucking nuts, man. And it's so obvious for you to be that fucking, you know, just stupid. If somebody's calling you an N-bomb, it's because you intimidate them, you scare them, you bother them, you make them insecure in a way that they can't override with normal conversation, normal actions. So they then scrape the bottom of the barrel that even white people will hear you say it and go, oh, you're not supposed to say that. But what you're trying to do is hurt that black person because they're hurting you. So you're going to say this thing that nobody's supposed to say. That's this really, oh, how dare you? You're trying to hurt feelings. And if you let somebody hurt your feelings because you've intimidated them or scared them to the point where they're saying a word that they're not supposed to, you're a fucking idiot. You should just laugh at them. Like, are you kidding me? That's all you have? You ran out of arguments that quick that you have to fucking start dropping N-bombs just to try to get me? Oh, how dare you? Don't say that. I'm so mad because you said those word. Oh my God. Don't be stupid. Don't continue to be stupid. You even have fucking rednecks and you know, who will get mad. Redneck is just as bad. You can't say redneck. Shut up. You know how you know it's a work? Do you know how you know it's a plan? Because nobody says the K word now, do they? There's no mention of it. No one talks about it, nothing. The K word is off limits, unless it's them, of course. Because you'll hear it in Hollywoodism. We're like that whole, I'm the HNIC, I'm the head nigga in charge thing. Well, the one guy says, I'm the meanest K in town and nobody's gonna mess with me here. You know, he's saying it proudly. It's their word. It's probably a Yiddish word for all we know. Let's see, look at how dumb this is. Look at how dumb these comments are. I never looked at it like that, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, everything I say does. I'm not dumb enough to give this inbred Israeli system that's trying its best to keep me down. I'm not dumb enough to give you fucking easy outs, man. I'm not going to sit here and say something unless I know it's true. I'm not going to give you some easy argument. I know you like that shit, but it's not going to happen. This is a white male liberal. Yep, cucking rich. Yeah, because again, this is how you know people are racist, right? As soon as somebody incorrectly says, bro, but you're white. Like, I love when people act like if you're white, you shouldn't say things like this. If you're white, you shouldn't talk about white racism. Why not? If anybody should be talking about white racism, it's white people. And actually, white racism is the only racism that exists, here in the United States at least. There's the J supremacy, but that just gets lumped into the white thing, unless you ask them, of course. They don't like being called white. But black people don't have the power in this country to be racist. The 13% of the population doesn't have the power to be racist. They don't decide what monies go into what town, what schools, what police departments. Black people don't decide that shit. Black people can be prejudiced as a motherfucker. Everybody can be prejudiced as a motherfucker. But racism is a much broader, bigger word. And only white people can be racist. And if you want to get rid of the prejudice that exists towards white people, get rid of the white racism. That'll kill it. Because the prejudice towards white people is in response to the white racism. But again, let's not take responsibility for that, right? Let's not see that. It's what the word represents. Go back to slavery and being somebody's bitch. If you want it to be, Semitism is J supremacy. Policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Yet according to them, anti-Semitism is the worst thing you could ever do or have. Well, everybody should be opposed to one group having favor over everyone else. Policy and predisposition, the rules and regulations, and the way people look at things, the way you've been programmed to think is favorable to the Jews. Why would anybody think that about anybody unless you're the benefactors of it? But who cares what somebody implies with the word? Somebody could be like, yo, what's up, biatch? That doesn't mean they're fucking calling you a bitch, a female dog, or a female, or anything like that. They could just be your friend, being silly about it. Are you going to take offense to it? No. If you let anybody's words affect you, you're an idiot. The only reason people's words affect you is if you know they're true. The reason why nobody hurts my feelings on here is because nothing they say is true. The only time you get mad about something is if it's true. If I ran up to you on the street and I was like, yo, you're like 25 feet tall and you have, 8 octopus arms coming out of your body and your eyes are glowing red and you've got 15 of them on your head. And you have tank treads for legs instead of wheels. Or instead of legs, you had tank treads. You're just going to look at me and be like, oh, okay, weirdo. Like, whatever. You probably laugh and walk away. However, if I say to you, man, sure looks like you struggle with your food intake, and I'd really like to help you get to a healthier weight because I want you to live the longest, healthiest life you could live. Yeah, don't fat shame me. Yeah, don't fat shame me. You're fat shaming me. The only reason fat people get upset is because they know it's true. There's nothing good about being fat. It's a bad thing. It's not healthy. We want you to live as long as you can, and fat people don't do that. But I wouldn't even be able to get that out. As soon as I mention something about you don't look like you can control yourself eating very well, you're probably going to hit me. You're going to attack me. How dare you? Don't you say that about me. People only get mad when it's true. You only get mad when it's true. So if you get mad at some dumb shit somebody says, you're telling them it's true. And that's, again, when you look at this feed where you have all of these fucking piece of shit Jays who don't actually acknowledge what I'm getting wrong or why they're here. But they're mad, it's because they're pedophiles. They know it. Let's see. Look at all this. Look at this. Please, guy, please pay attention. Please, guy, pay attention to me. Please. Please pay attention to me, guy. Thank you, sir. Oh, I can't reach. Oh, thank you. Not a single one of these gets thrown out. They all get eaten. Bruh literally hardly reads the chat. Why would I? Look at all this dumb shit. Look at all of these dumb comments that just keep coming through. What's the point of living, of reading them? Anyway, go get your free download. Link is in the description. All the links are in the description. What's the link, Nick? Wait, can't hear you.
www.builderbear.
What? You're dumb. You're so dumb. www.the-builderberg-group.com. It's free. Free to download. Right? Free to listen to. All we ask is that you share it with someone. When you click download, it'll say, how much do you want to pay? Fucking A, donate $100,000. We'd really appreciate it. Or click 0 and it's free. Whatever you want to do. I'm going to leave you with a link to Hollywoodism, which is the most important film ever fucking made. It's everything I talk about, but from the J perspective. Made in the late 90s, 96, 97. The descendants of the Hollywood moguls, the 6 Hollywood moguls that somehow created Hollywood and then ran it with an iron fist and, did all this horrible shit and didn't fucking give it up. They didn't control Hollywood up until the 80s and then be like, oh, well, we don't want to control this anymore. At one point, one of the descendants says, essentially you could say the American dream is the Jewish dream. Because they used Hollywood, both East Coast and West Coast Hollywood, to create the reality that they wanted to live in. And that's what they brag about in this film. Go watch it. I didn't make it. Alex Jones didn't make it. They made it. It's their film. Do everything you can to watch that shit. Watch it slowly. Make sure you're pausing, you're rewinding, you're getting an understanding of everything said before you move past it. There's also going to be a link to an article on a website called Israel Hayom. It's an Israeli website. Everyone that contributes to the page is Jewish. It's all Jews, all Israelis, all everything. Israel Hayom, Hayom. Go, Mo. God damn it. Come on, Mo. Up. Come on. All right, back up. Stay there, Nick. Okay, come on, let's go. Stay there. You're going to take him. Come on, dummy. Come on, you big dummy. Up. There you go. Israel Hayom. The article is titled Bottom of Darkness. And you're going to find that it's almost impossible to read because for some strange reason, this website that wrote an article for people to read makes it almost impossible to read it. It'll keep clicking you out. It'll keep resetting the page. It's really difficult to describe it. I've never actually seen it on any other page before. But it's worth fighting the battle to read. Because the article, written by Jews in Israel, is all about how the child sexual ritual, the ritualistic child sexual exploitation is everywhere. All of the different communities, the sects, north, south, east, west, the ritual sexual abuse of children is everywhere. It permeates their culture. And it actually, do you guys understand why they celebrate Hanukkah? Do you guys know what Hanukkah is? So, back in like minus 236 BC, because, we have really good records from back then. There was a guy called Maccabee, Johann Maccabeus or some shit like that, Maccabee. And at the time, the Seleucids had outlawed circumcision because it's disgusting. It's a disgusting, unnecessary, horrific practice, especially the way they do it with the matitza bapeh, which is the sucky on it. Yeah. But according to the narrative, you know, everything was cool. There was just some things that had been outlawed or changed. And you listen to the three examples that are given. The first example being they were forced to eat meat that wasn't kosher. Well, how do you do that? You can't do that. They were forced to worship on Sunday instead of Saturday. Again, how do you enforce that? That's silly. That's not even a thing. You can't stop people from doing that. And they outlawed circumcision. So Maccabee wasn't like, fuck that, I'm going to eat kosher food and worship on Saturday like I was supposed to. No. His thing was that he was just pissed off that they couldn't circumcise anymore because circumcision is their number one mitzvah. It's the most important commandment in their cult. It's as important as anything else, and nothing else is as important as it. So, whatever. Or nothing else is more important than it is. So it's one of the number one things in their cult. And he said, fuck that, I'm going to circumcise. I'm going to circumcise mine and my children. So he did. Then his family, went around the region, you know, because traveling around the region at the time was easy, using Godspeed. Traveled around the region, telling Jews, you either join the cult and the you know, circumcise yourself and your children, or they killed them. They went around the country killing Jews who refused to circumcise. They were like, it's not that bad. We're allowed to practice our shit. We're just not allowed to circumcise. And that shit's pretty wrong and gross anyway, so we weren't going to do it. But they went around the countryside, and those that refused to circumcise were killed. Those that did joined the troop. And again, they went around. How did they feed themselves? How these are all circumcised men, and they're all what, walking, riding horses, what? Freshly circumcised men, they're all just doing this? Oh, okay. They went around the countryside, collecting as many people as they could, till eventually they got an army big enough to attack the Seleucid Empire, or Seleucid, I don't know how to say it, where after years of battle, they finally won the right to circumcise again. And that is what Hanukkah celebrates. Every year here in Detroit, they erect a three-story menorah made of metal with fire coming out each tip, hooked up to natural gas, that guess what? The taxpayers pay for. 30-foot menorah in the middle of downtown that requires natural gas to consistently flow to it so it can be burned. This effigy to Judaism that they make up 2 to maybe 3% of the United States population and 0.183% of the world's population. And yet we have this menorah to celebrate Hanukkah, which is the celebration of circumcision. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Look up Matitza Bapeh when you have a chance. METZIAB'Peh. Go look that shit up and tell me why we still accommodate that in our society. United States or anywhere else. Why the fuck is that disgusting ritual still accommodated? It's appalling, right? It's appalling. And if I'm wrong, because this is just like submarines, this is just like anything else, you don't actually know anything about it. But let's hear what you have to say. Come on, tell me how I'm wrong that that's not what Hanukkah is about. Come on, tell me. Tell me how I'm wrong that we should kill pedos. Tell me how I'm wrong that we should end the J slavery of all of us, which is a large portion of the pedophilia, and also committing the genocide right now, along with all of the other shits associated with it. Tell me why we shouldn't end that disgusting pedophilic genocidal cult. I'd love to hear your reasoning. If circumcision was medically necessary, it'd be done everywhere. But guess what? Europe doesn't do it. They flat out say the benefits or the risks don't outweigh the benefit, or the risks outweigh the benefits. It's a terrible, terrible thing to do. Why do you think the United States has the largest prison population in the world and a culture that's so obsessed with penises and rape and all that shit? It's because as hours-old males, 99% of the males that are born in the United States, within hours of being alive, are mutilated. Their penises are mutilated. These babies have no idea. If you've ever seen the difference between an 8-day-old baby and a newborn baby, it's like the 8-day-old baby is twice the size. The 8-day-old baby has come online a little bit. A newborn baby is just the most, fragile, precious little beautiful life in the world, and we're mutilating it. Because your Christian God doesn't care how we treat each other. Doesn't care how we treat the animals, how we treat the planet, nothing like that. Your Christian God's biggest concern is that Jews continue to circumcise themselves and their slaves. And as long as circumcision keeps happening, God will keep showing us the rainbow, which is his sign that he's never going to destroy the earth again. That's the reason why you circumcise. It is not medical. It is ritualistic, fucking crazy bullshit. And as I say, they at least have the decency to wait 8 days. Because, the woman's vagina is so disgusting that the baby has to purify for 7 days. Because they can't just take the baby to the mikvah, which is what the women have to go to every month after they stop bleeding, so they can go in this nasty ass fucking, standing water and be cleansed because their vaginas are so gross. And that's what saves their babies from being violated at birth. But with us, with the Goyim, we're mutilated at birth. We don't know shit. 8-day-old baby has at least experienced happiness, warmth, food, titty, soft, smile, sunlight, darkness. Like, they've experienced things. It's not just their very first experience in this world. Whereas us, within hours of being born, they are mutilating us. They are mutilating us. You don't do it to yourself. And if you knew what the practice was, how they basically crucify the baby, put a little thing on it, a little bell-shaped thing, and spin it, and the blade comes out. The baby screams, ah, ah, and then goes into shock. And then they take the baby who's in shock, and they go and put it back in one of the little incubator things while it comes out of shock, while it comes to terms with what just happened to it. It has no concept of any of this, but it's in so much pain, and they wrap it all up so it pees all in its own wounds. This baby, until it comes out of shock, they let it just sort of figure it out on its own. And then after it comes out of shock, and when people come out of shock, they're exhausted, they then take it to the parent and go, oh, look, your little man had a surgery. He's sweepy, but he's a trooper. And you're like, oh, then you give your baby the love it requires. With them, they have a big party. And all the relatives come and watch as the moil, whose only job it is to perform this ritual, cuts and sucks on it, and then they pass the baby around. If they at least show the baby love right away, they at least fucking, you know, the baby is at least 8 days old. Like the idea of doing that to our children is just horrendous. Horrendous. Why would anyone support that shit? Do you consider yourself an alpha male? Yeah, and I get really upset if anybody challenges it. What, you want to fight? You want to fight, bro? Bro? You want to fight, bro? I got to prove I'm an alpha male. You want to fight? You know how ridiculous that shit is? Anyway, free download, www.the-bilderberg, group.com. Again, if I'm allowed to. Sometimes I'm not allowed to edit the description directly after the video. I have to wait till it uploads. But if I can, you'll find this information directly after the video in the description. If you can't find it, just go to the previous videos. It'll be in one of the previous videos. The description's always the same. Free download. All you have to do is click 0 and it's free, but you can download and we appreciate it. Hollywoodism, the most important film ever made. The Israel Hayom Bottom of Darkness article is something all of you should read. And then there's going to be 3 links to our Facebook page, music videos, Donald Trump Hates America, COVID Sauce, and Sleight of Hand Job. Like, share, and sub on those videos. Like, share, and sub here. You know, it's Team Goyim here. Team Goyim needs to rise up and realize that it's us versus them. They already see it that way. We don't. We see it as us versus us versus us versus us versus us. Oh, your skin color's different. Oh, you have a different sexual preference than I do. Oh, you want to wear a dress. Oh, you know. I don't care what you do. As long as you're not hurting somebody against their will and you're not fucking with children, I don't care what you do. You can fuck all the feet you want, you fucking weirdo. Just make sure it's not children's feet and make sure the person you're doing it to isn't like, I hate this. I don't want to do this. This is gross. You know, if you manipulate, force your wife into having a threesome and she's not into chicks, that's rape. You know? Don't force anybody into doing anything. But at the same time, I'm a huge proponent of the ideal situation would be 2 females and 1 male. I think that's how that shit should work. You know? I think that way all the bases are covered. But again, only if the person that you're with likes females. If they don't like females, well, forcing them into it's disgusting. If your girl doesn't like butt sex, but you're constantly trying to put it in her butt, that's rape. If she's sitting there going, oh, okay, are you almost done yet? Are you almost done yet? Yeah, she hates it. Don't do that to her. That's fucking horrible. That's rape. Just because you're with the person doesn't mean you're not raping the person. And be honest. If you really like butt sex, don't hide it from your person. Let them know right away so they can decide. Do I want to have butt sex for the rest of my life? If you like dudes, totally okay with it. Whatever, like all the dudes you want. Don't pretend you don't like dudes and then cheat on your girl with a dude because you're fucking not getting your needs met. This revolution isn't just one little piece at a time. It's everything. We're being lied to and manipulated by them about everything. So we need to fix everything if we want to fix anything. We have to cut the head off the monster. And so it leads me to my last point, which is the most important thing I always say. Our society is clearly broken. You pedophiles get your little slap on the wrist. You get to go to prison in a protected wing where you learn how to be a better pedo from other pedos. And then you move out and come to my neighborhood, your neighborhood, whatever. And you're supposed to be on some stupid list where if you looked it up and you saw how many of these pedos were in your neighborhood, you'd be disgusted. But I guarantee none of you have ever had somebody come knock on your door in Megan's Law. Oh, I had to tell you that I moved in. It's never happened. And like the guys from DAP say, you know, that dude said he's caught over 150 registered sex offenders. It doesn't stop anything. The vast majority of you haven't been caught yet. A lot of you haven't even fucking touched a child yet. So you convince yourself it's not as bad. Just because you watch child exploitation materials, you have pictures and videos saved on your phone, but you didn't hurt them, so it's not as bad, right? No, it's just as bad. You're providing the audience for that shit. If you weren't there, then that shit wouldn't be there either. And the only reason you haven't hurt a child yet is because you haven't had the opportunity to. If you're given the opportunity to, you're going to. You're a piece of shit. So anybody that's already hurt a child, or anybody who enjoys child exploitation materials and has yet to hurt a child, but you will, I'm literally begging you, with everything I have, I'm down on my knees begging you, please, please do one good thing in your life. Do one good thing in your life. And pedophiles, kill yourself.